to the train yard, map number 2, and the Polish pick.
And here's the difference, since it is the pick from Aristocracy. Ancient do get that start on CT side, although for some reason CT side starts have been a bit of a curse for teams today, or throughout the entire tournament, really. When we've expected CT side, it starts to lead into an advantage. It usually hasn't been the case, so let's see if that is going to be the same for Ancient's case here on Train. It's going to start a little bit of aggressive posturing up towards the inner train yard. They're going to move in pretty quickly, too. Freddy B's going to make first contact. Thing is, though, the rest of Aristocracy still is pretty split up here. They've got a lot of players back out towards the spawn, and even further up towards Popdog. They're going to find a little bit of damage against Draken, but eventually pull back, and they're going to go down over top of Popdog instead, where Plopsky's not able to stop it.
Not ready for that one at all. And now these T's, they can just flood the train yard here. Disco Doppler back of Green Train, not going to be able to hit a shot. Draken does, though. And this flank is coming in from Freddy B. He's going to be in the Popdog in a few seconds. So this bomb does need to go down quick, but they need the kills first, and they're failing to do so. Missed shot from both sides of the board. Rusty dinked down on the corner, and Draken's coming in from Old Bomb as well. Are they covering it? Yes, but low HP on Mouse. He hits the shot on 1 point of health. Rallen will defend him, and now this long flank from Freddy, it might have come in too late.
Very messy shots coming out here, unfortunately, for the Ancient players. Just not hitting headshots where they were needed. It's going to cost them. Mouse finally getting the only USP headshot in that entire round, and it came from a T.
With 1 HP.
Yeah, with 1 HP.
As you expect.
So that's going to be Aristocracy getting off to a good start there. A little bit of a wacky round, considering the half commitment to B that they had to pull back from and then drop down into ladder.
Yeah, I like that idea as well. I wonder if it played into the heads of Ancient at all, because Freddy was playing close coils, and he would have heard them drop there, because they jump peeked the ramp. Maybe some misinformation there for Ancient. Obviously can't really blame them. There were 3 players down on that B site initially, but the rotate was very well timed. And now the buys come through for this T side. Well, both sides really. Ancient have forced things up with a double scout. So effective on the CT side of Train. Probably one of my favorite maps to see CT's force on. That and Nuke.
A lot of long-range angles for them to play into, especially with the scout. Although interesting enough, we're not going to see it use that Ivy. There's going to be one position, I think, a little bit closer towards the old train yard, trying to take duels against players coming out. Popdog, and the other one is pretty close to that, just outside is Z right now. For the rest of Ancient, though, slow, passive positions being taken by them. You've got Disco right around the corner from T entry. He's probably going to make first contact in a moment here. Aristocracy taking their time about it. Certainly doing a good job of psyching out Ancient and baiting them into these more aggressive plays, as we saw a little bit of on the pistol round there too, and they've done it once again to find the opening kill against Disco. Once more, they forced Rusty out.
He runs through a Molotov. He was running to his own death, whether he liked it or not, and a 5-on-3 immediately. We might just see Ancient save these scouts, bring them into the next round. Freddy smoked off in the Popdog, and he wants nothing to do with this, so triple save for Ancient, at least attempted, because these T's are starting to hunt. Rallen close by, but little does he know Freddy has just slipped past him on the other side, going back towards spawn where Mal sits, and he's got his back turned as well towards the spawn, probably not aware of this possibility. So it could be a couple of exits for Ancient. They could make it costly, pick up some guns. Mouse has an AK most importantly, so that would be a huge weapon to pick up, but Freddy B gives away his position with the HE grenade. And even though Maniz has found himself inside of the bomb site, they're not ready. Draken gets picked up. Now Popsy's got to turn around. This SMG going to tear them limb from limb. Aristocracy getting rid of every single player there.
Very clean second round coming out from Aristocracy. This is a start we were hoping to see from them. We knew this was going to be a strong map. And indeed, even against the Force, that doesn't seem to phase them at all. It's a really, really one-sided round going into the favor of Aristocracy. There's barely been any kills against them. I think just a single kill so far from Ancient. That's it.
Not the strong start, but we'll wait for the rifle round. Still got one more eco before that. USP rushdown Ivy, love to see it, but the double nade is there. What a read from Aristocracy, and they're just gonna mow them down. Oh dear, what an ace from Maniz as well. 5 kills, great way to start off this T side, get some money as well, can throw over that AWP, and he's just gonna go straight for it.
Round is over as soon as it begins. That had to be like a 10 to 15 second round at most.
Yeah.
So Aristocracy will take that one nice and easily. A 3-0 lead established for them. But of course, now Ancient come in with the full buy of their own, which includes double op setup too, with armor sitting behind both of them on either Disco Doppler or Draken. So they're looking to put a real stop to this, and Draken, right against Maniz, knocks him out. That's Ancient. Starting to take a bit more control, but Draken nearly loses his life through that smoke, standing into the same angle for an extended period of time.
Yeah, that all picked back up from Aristocracy, so they can send it wherever they please. Towards Ivy seems to be the game plan for now. He's still got T's outside of the box halls, but CT's inside of them. Freddy B pushed up on that ramp early on, will elect to back off. They have a 5-on-4. Ancient don't need to give up picks to Aristocracy, and now that he hears them start to enter these box halls, it's all the more reason to play passive. A retake setup on this B bomb site as he sits back towards the connector, but Aristocracy won't be going towards B anytime soon. That rotate back down through Pop Dog coming through. Ancient with passive positions, so no one playing close. This is going to be free map control for Aristocracy. What will they do with it?
Ollie's going down to the Pop Dogs and give them ability to move down into it over the next few seconds here. Still over 48 seconds. We need to see Aristocracy moving into taking map control relatively soon. Otherwise, they're not going to have the time necessary in order to get out and plant the bomb. No real utility in order to get them out of here either. So they're going to go right into Draken regardless, unless they try to flash out. Molly's going into the corner to deal with the front up position backed by the train, but it's not going to stop Draken way in the back of the site. Taz gets knocked out as he takes first contact. Dika, at least there for a trade. The Plotsky up on top. Ooh. Same thing though, only goes 1 for 1. This is workable for Aristocracy, even though they just make it to the site. Mouse, though, taking so much damage. Gets picked off before the bomb can go onto the ground, and now Rowland alone, picked off by Disco Doppel, and Ancient get their first round on the board.
It's crazy the accuracy some of these players can have from shooting through connector under that bomb train to stop a bomb plant. Freddy B does it there from connector. Perfect shots. Just tickling at the toes, and that's all you need. Drops that bomb up in the open, leaves a player in a 1-on-3, and at that point it's Ancient's round to take. Nice work from them. And this double AWP is going to remain as well. Maniz is back on his. Doesn't want to take a quick T-Con peek this time. That didn't favor him in the previous round. He'll go towards Ivy nice and early on. Now, Ancient definitely would have expected this AWP in the previous round, but will they expect it back-to-back? We'll have to wait and see. Aristocracy taking control of the B-halls once again. And Ancient with a quad A setup. That might change.
Aristocracy, in the meanwhile, still trying to push themselves over towards box holes. Not going to be much resistance on that from Ancient. No one trying to push the upper end of it. However, just as I say that, Freddy... Ooh, he's going to make a big play here. Right in, finds a free pick on Dika. No attempt to push out upper to counter that immediately, so Freddy P's going to be allowed to fall back. There's no reason for him to play aggressive on close upper anymore unless they want to be really greedy with this to deny a plan outright. He's going to be able to sit back, play safely, and more importantly, play into the 5v4 advantage that they now have.
Yeah, back-to-back rounds, Freddy's done this a really, really good job of getting early control, getting early info, even a pick sometimes, and just a chance to back off and play for retake. They might need to. These T's are flooding out onto the bomb site. Molotov won't stop Mouse. It will stop the rest, though. That bomb just a few seconds lacking behind. Now Ancient, they know exactly what's going on, and the rotate is in. This bomb plant's taking its time, and this is going to allow Ancient to set up, ready for a post plant, ready for a retake with a man advantage as well. 35 seconds as that bomb gets planted. And these CTs starting to enclose on the site.
So many smokes in between the train yards, reducing vision and actually giving Aristocracy a good amount of room to play with, but it has the adverse effect of allowing Ancient to shuffle in unnoticed. Aristocracy has no clue where Ancient have positioned their players, so there you go. They're going to be able to walk right up on quite a few. The Mals will be the first victim of it. Draken and Disco pick up the next two. Rowland's found Freddy, but that's a meaningless gesture in the grand scheme of it, as Plopsky walks up, finds the last frag, and Ancient claims their second.
Yeah, I mean, even Ancient there probably get confused how it was so easy for them. They committed to 3 players on the rotate and 2 still on A, even when all 4 Ts were on that B bomb site. Almost like, surely there's got to be a lurk. Surely there's got to be more to this. That was very well read from Ancient. And nothing too difficult to deal with on the 5-on-4 retake there. Another round going the way of the Swedes, and they are nipping at the heels of Aristocracy. 1 round behind, and this should be that breaking point, because now that loss bonus, while it's starting to build, and the bomb plant money does help out, I think Aristocracy are going to have a bit of a tough time when it comes to that cash.
Yeah, so Aristocracy just taking their first pause here. A good time to do it if they can bounce back right now. Similarly to Overpass, if we can see them just trade rounds back and forth like guys from Ancient were able to do while coming off a T side. If they end up with an even score, and that's still a massive advantage to Aristocracy when we switch all over, if we are to assume that their CT side is going to be stronger.
So we would think, right? But you said it earlier, and yeah, this tournament's really been so T-sided. We've seen some really dominant T-sides on maps like Train, maps like Overpass that you don't typically expect. So let's see if this streak continues. The buy is in. It's not pretty. Couple of Deagles, no AWP, but it will get the job done. Let's see if Ancient can make it interesting. Freddy gets aggressive again at the top of B, but he'll have to fall back. He can't keep doing that. Luckily, this time with the AWP supporting him, it might bait Aristocracy into this angle.
Or just keep them completely held back, as the case would seem. Aristocracy a little bit scared of what could be hiding in the box halls. Freddy B could have also been used as bait to line up an offer further back there as well. Rusty immediately counters up the molly toss against him. The play is going to happen on the outer yards, though, where Mouse finds the first pick. A lot of good damage going on to players like Plopsky, Rusty, and Disco as well. Taz next up to bat. The smokes, again, really restricting the view pane here for Ancient, and Plopsky completely whiffing on trying to spam down the planter. There's a team kill in the chaos of that as well at some point. But ultimately, yeah, Ancient going to get wiped off the map here. Draken left alone in a 1v4. There's nothing he can do.
Aristocracy killed more T's than Ancient in this round, funnily enough. And Draken, he's not going to have much say in this one. He's just got to hold on to the AWP. Might be able to get an exit kill into Rowland, who's coming from his right side here, deep in CT. But other than that, no one nearby. And Rowland's taking his sweet time as well, so not even a guaranteed frag for Draken here. And Aristocracy, 4th round on this T side. A quick outer execute, working wonders. Those smoke walls are fantastic as well, and we just saw them 2-3 players run out of pop and start spamming those smokes, getting so much damage onto the players on the site. Draken,
how did he stay alive?
Bit of a flashback, yeah.
That entire room was filled with bullets.
Just jumping at the wall. Help.
Let me make it out of this one. And he does. So he'll keep the op in check. That might just be enough for them to justify a force, and it is. I mean, you can see it. They get the 3 Augs. There was one player that was a little bit lower. Disco Doppelin has to end up buying Inferno, but it's a pretty respectable buy, all things considered.
Ancient very close decon position here. Freddy's actually moved over to the A site for a change, and he's going to get flashed in. Confident start from Ancient. Molly in response, though, and that'll send them packing. I like that from Aristocracy. They are aware that Ancient could have taken T control, but they won't let them stay in that position. If you want to go ahead of that molly and sit in T-Con, you're up for the risk of Aristocracy flashing in and taking you down. So Ancient going to have to give up that position and look elsewhere for a pick.
Forces them right out of the sight. It's going to be the rest of Aristocracy grouping up in back B. It's split again, though, so it'd be a little odd if they committed to this at this point, considering that number 5 and 2, Rowland and Dika, are still going to be a good rotate away. And you have that possibility for a flank to come in from Plopsky as well, though, of course, they don't realize that just yet. 57 seconds, though. Aristocracy need to decide what they're going to do soon. No sign of that just yet, although they are starting to shift back over towards Pop Dog. One player keeping a watch on that. The rest just waiting, hoping that Ancient make the first move, when we're not going to see that. They've already got aggressive positions established. It needs to be Oh, hold on. Plopsky, yeah. Gets impatient. He's going to pay the price for that. Taz, now the team could just walk right out through T-Connector and Pop Dog.
But that bomb's still on B. This was not the game plan for Aristocracy. They just abused the fact that they got the free pick after Plopsky re-aggressed. It's actually going to be the B play. D is selling this fake fantastically, and the rotate is coming off of B. Disco Doppelin just missing the timing as that bomb comes through upper, and now he realizes, but it's too late. Taz gets the shot down ramp, and the trade's there from the AWP, but the plant is in. 2-on-3 in the post plant. Ancient have the advantage, but this is still doable for Aristocracy.
Biggest issue here for Ancient is going to be utility, and now the man advantage is gone. Freddy B, though, immediately trades it back, puts all the pressure on Mouse. Neither of the remaining Ancient players will fall, though. Both Manice and Mouse go down, and that's going to be Ancient plenty of time to defuse. Their 3rd round's coming right up. Now about to tie it at 4-4.
This is so back and forth. Anyone's game at this point, but you have to remember that T-sided start for Aristocracy. 4 rounds is definitely not going to be one that they would turn their nose up at. And the bomb plant going to facilitate yet another buy. There are limitations, though, constantly. Mouse, Taz, these players don't have full money, so might have to see some more pistols, some more SMGs. Maniz on a glass cannon AWP as well, but Ancient only able to save one of those 2 snipers from the previous round. Maybe that be from choice or not, but that's going to be on Draken once again.
It's going to mean that Aristocracy, of course, still keep the advantage in their favor, given the T-sided nature of, or CT-sided nature, I should say, of this map. But Ancient also with another chance to break down Aristocracy's economy and start to put some serious advantage into Ancient's favor. So there's slow wind up here, though. Aristocracy trying to play with Ivy, which is an area we haven't really seen them use too much just yet. They've primarily just been holding in the back B halls, either going for Pop Dog and T-Connector plays or just direct B plays. This is something new they're trying to experiment with, and it's going to take a few seconds at a minimum here before we see any action from it. They were smoked off. Rusty played into that just by holding those guys back.
Oh, but look at the adjustment on that A site Ancient. They just give up Ivy and they go back to another deep control round. Popsky pushes in with that smoke thrown from T-Spawn into Pop Dog, funnily enough. But double drop. Aristocracy more than ready for it.
Popsky as well taking a position that was just outside of the smoke. His feet were visible. The two members dropping for Aristocracy, and that's how he'll lose his life. So, advantage to Aristocracy. There's the execute, though. Still waiting for the smoke to fade just inside of Pop Dog. That would be the cause of the delay. Rusty going to be completely blinded, but his patience is paid off. Him and Draken both make connections. Oh, the beautiful lineup. But Draken actually steals one of those away. So Rowland actually falls down at his hand. All left up to just Taz, and he's not going to last too long. There's the tie now at 4-4 for Ancient.
Ancient just looking so much on the same page right now. I mean, the rotations are really, really good. The fact that they're able to completely adjust an entire site setup just because of the Ivy control coming through. They see the smoke, and instead of even trying to fight with it, they move Rusty deep towards the E-box to watch Ivy with his back covered to T-Con, and then two close players such as Popsky inside of Pop. It doesn't always work out. They lose a couple of players, but they get the round. That's what matters. And Aristocracy left the pistols. The money's starting to run dry. This is where Ancient can really get their groove going on the CT side.
Should have a clean round on this one as well. This has been the problem for Ancient. I think they had one of their opportunities like this before, and they still ended up losing 2 or 3 players from the round. So need to make sure that things are cleaned up in much better fashion this time so they can start getting that build-up. They can't rely, unfortunately, as much as they want to. I don't think it's a good strat to rely on just winning this huge string of rounds back-to-back.
No. Diho was trying to play a timing there. He was hiding around that corner on Ivy, waiting for the perfect point to sneak up. But Rusty checking it every few seconds, making sure his back was covered. Ancient with a man advantage, as you would expect in a round like this. Aristocracy, no utility to get themselves out onto a bomb site. They've just got to run the gun, run the gauntlet into these orcs, and they are so devastating. Already 2 kills, make that 3, and this round is to be done as quick as can be. Ancient, 5 players surviving and 5 rounds to their name here on the CT side.
The lead also going towards their favor now at 5-4. And now this is a chance for them to get back to a more normal scoreline, or at least one that we expect on a map like this, with the CTs leading, hopefully by a good margin. This is the thing, though. We need to see them keep consistent wins from this point forward, and that hasn't always been so reliable. They've been trading a lot with Aristocracy here. It's kept the match close, yeah, but still gives an advantage to Aristocracy in the long run of things.
Well, the thing is, Aristocracy only won 1 rightful round yet this game, right? They go 3-0 start off the fact that Ancient force up in the second, and then they get that USP Ivy play. This is messy. Popsky getting spammed from above. He'll be able to squat weapon and get the kill. Taz falls into it. Can't blame him for trying, but oh dear, what a way to go down. Now it's just Maniz in a 1-on-5. Where did this round go?
The timing inside of drop for Disco Doppelin worked out so perfectly, too. You could see and you could tell that Aristocracy were wanting to drop down, wanting to make the push happen. Disco Doppelin nearly lost his life to a poor timing on weapon switch, but he just got it out and ready to go in time. Won that duel. And of course, the rest of the frags happening due to the aggressive push from the B players. Beautiful stuff from Ancient. Completely throws the plan right into the face of Aristocracy and pretty much wastes a gun round for them.
Yeah, and as I was saying right before, right, 1 gun round on this T side. The scoreline's good, don't get me wrong, but we need to see a few more of them if we're going to really believe Aristocracy will take this map. Pistols out now, half by an Ancient again bringing this aggression. They have absolutely no fear towards B. They play it very early every time for contact, for info. And they get a bit, they hear some footsteps, but now the push coming through. Draken hits a shot. He is the first to fall. And now Aristocracy just grouping up, and I imagine just going for a smoke play down towards this B site. Luckily enough, Ancient are passive, so bomb plant in this position, very, very viable, very doable. Anything past that is going to be difficult.
They've got a few, they've got like 3 deagles, so it's not completely out of the question, especially if the angles are right. But we have to see how those end up getting lined up. You can see Draken getting toyed with slightly, although he doesn't really know it yet. The smoke at upper, it's going to send him away. Freddy flashed out, doesn't matter though, still able to find Mouse. Nicely done there. Catches the first player trying to execute out through lower. The final 3 are going to attempt to waterfall through the upper smoke. First player makes it through pretty clean actually, but Freddy B's right there to cut them off. Rowland able to snipe one of them out. One of them gets a kill going. Plant is achieved, and as you said, anything beyond that, not really realistic. And it gets diffused probably about 5 seconds exactly after it got planted. That's number 7 for Ancient as they're really starting to establish a true lead now.
Yeah, more than we could have imagined really coming into that round for Aristocracy. I think they're going to have plenty of money now at least. AWP will no longer be a question mark, but a certainty on Maniz. And he's had a bit of a slow start as well. He's top of the board, but we've not really seen him come to life on this AWP. That's what we're hoping will change, because remember, 5 of his 8 kills were from that full USP round, so while he's top of the board, maybe stats lie sometimes. Oh, that's the start.
Kraken just thought he had the lineup for sure, but a little bit off on the shot, so Manise gets the better of it anyway. And that's not good.
You do hate to see that.
All right.
Happens to the best of us.
So trying to... I'm assuming this hit all the players too.
Yeah.
From the looks of the mice and the keyboards.
Yeah. That camera was on Freddy, I think, as well. And not many, so I think it worked on both sides. So everyone's gone down. We'll just be waiting for admins on site to get that fixed so we can get things back and running.
Happens every once in a while, folks. I do apologize for the server crash. I'll try to restart it and get into the round as quickly as possible. Ancient will probably be okay with that, considering the loss of their Opera, but yeah, not much you can do, unfortunately, there. Aristocracy still chasing Ancient in this matchup. A lot of us, I think the two of us included, thought Aristocracy were going to have a much easier time closing out on this map, and while that held true at the beginning, now that we've gotten into the gun rounds, it's been a little bit tougher for the Polish roster here.
Slow starts aren't always bad. You know, 6-7 rounds T-side eventually, and switch over, get a pistol, suddenly the game's in your favor. So they don't need to worry just yet, but tough times ahead of them. Ancient are making them work for it. That's to say for sure. Already a map up in the series, looking to try and face Optic in that grand final later on this afternoon.
That's a nice hat.
Yeah, big fan.
Loving that hat. And we can see again all the players just getting prepped real quick, getting them all back into the server. I think we're pretty close to that. Got a few players aiming and getting warmed up at a minimum, as you can see in the glasses reflection there.
That's what I'm staring at too.
So we're pretty close to restarting things, guys. Just got to get that medic applied and all that, and then we'll be good to go. But it's Ancient up against Aristocracy. If you just joined us, Ancient already took control of the first map, so they have the lead 1-0. But it is going to take us a minute, guys, to sort this out, so do stick with us. We're going to come back right to you in a few minutes here with a continuation of this map. And we're bringing it back to you guys once again. Aristocracy versus Ancient on map number 2. Ancient has the advantage coming off of Overpass. And right now, as of the last few rounds, they've started to take the lead on Train too. Just about 8 rounds or so away now from being able to close out on the map and knock Aristocracy out. But this is the map where Aristocracy dominated on earlier in the tournament. We're going to have to see, though, if they can bounce back. They're on the T side right now, struggling a little bit. But let's go into our next round and see if they can indeed keep this rolling.
7-4 and full buys on both sides. That's what we like to see here, Blue. And Taz, ooh, he gets absolutely melted by that nade. 41 HP as he gets out through Olaf, though. And Ancient, they don't know it. That's the plus side. Bit of element and surprise, and Disco Doppeln going to close the distance. Taz might be able to find a pick from this, but Molotov landing in main, and his teammates just avoiding it for the meantime. In the meantime, Aristocracy have worked up Ivy very deep indeed, and the crossfire from Ancient, once that smoke fades, we could see a bit of a swing come through. And this is, I mean, what is going on? Taz has pushed out through Sandwich. He's found 2. 40 HP, now 14. Rusty's got to make up for it with a double, and he does that, but Manise trades with the AWP. Now the B rotates come in, but Taz has already gained his sight.
Immediate question is going to be, where was the watch for a T-Con push?
There were 3 watching Ivy.
That leaves T-Con completely open for the taking. They had to have had some type of intel that suggested the entire team would be pushing from there. I mean, that's a big mistake and a big misread by Ancient that could cost them this round. It's not over just yet, though. You still have Freddie B working his way in through the back tunnels, and Draken to push through Z, but Manise has got this angle to try and get at the better of him. Manise, though, misses the opening shot. He's got a molly, however, to hold him back. Keep in mind, of course, that bomb's already been on the ground for about half the time it needs to be. So Ancient need to move a bit quicker here, even if that means Draken risking his life.
Yeah, they got to go or they got to bail. It's one or the other, and they're going to go for it. Freddie moving in through already. Got to go back towards Ivy. He does kill Manise. Now tap on the bomb. They've got to stick it. No choice, no chance. Has beats wide. He goes down, but they've got it. Ancient just about. Surely. Oh!
Just before the final beat.
How?
No business getting that done right there. Ancient, beautiful stuff. I mean, you heard us getting stressed over it. We're like, they've got to go right now. And they do it just in the nick of time. Even having a very scrappy fight out on the site in the final 2v2 right there. But great stuff from the Swedes. They keep themselves in the fight. They keep themselves in a good leading position, too. The stronger this lead gets, the better it's going to look going into the second half. It's Aristocracy. Remember, they got the strong start. 3-0, were able to trade out 1 additional round, but since then, they've looked very weak, even on gun rounds.
Jammiest retake I've seen it in a while. It's going to hurt Aristocracy, definitely. That was their round to win. That was everything about it. Nice nades going down early on. Ivy's been cut off once again. Aristocracy throw their deep smoke, but Rusty's not tempted. And he's being boosted outside of B, just trying to check for this back composition. It's a position that Freddie has played quite frequently so far this map, but not this round. We'll just be closing the distance towards ramp instead. Well timed from him as Aristocracy back off and go into this default towards Pop Dog. Looking like an outer split now with the bomb going back in through spawn. 3 players on the A side for Aristocracy. Rotate will be needed eventually, but these smokes are going to telegraph the play.
Still going to be a slow broiling approach here for Aristocracy. They'll be executing pretty much at the bar minimum amount of time that they need in order to get onto the site here. Manise and the others still looking for an opening pick to justify a push out. And as such, they don't find it. Ancient throw down their mollies into Team Main. Is going to stop them from moving in. Dika, though, stops Disco Doppler from pushing into him, but it's immediately traded by Plopsky, finding Taz up near the bomb thread. A great nade on Dika as well. Brings him down to 40, but it doesn't matter. Still is able to pick off Draken, finds Plopsky right afterwards. Rusty now with control over towards Ivy. It's going to be one of the last hopes alive here for Ancient at this point. Him and Freddie working down through Pop Dog. Have to try and find a way to get back into this, but they've got Rusty on lock right now. Mal's ready to take him out. Freddie immediately getting pelted as soon as he works his way out through Pop Dog. So Rowland finishes things off. Aristocracy, there's still signs of life after all, as they find a 5th round.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It seems like the CTs completely misread the situation. Someone was playing close sandwich, and he started running forward into the fight. That's where DreamHack gets his opening kill, and then it just starts falling apart from there. Mouse with a double towards Connector, and Rusty can't get anything done on Ivy. Aristocracy, 5 rounds on this T side, starting to make this half look far more interesting now, and a couple more would really sell this half for them. Be the icing on the cake. Manise might find a pick as well, close towards Sandwich. Disco's Doppeln is lurking. Ooh. Yeah, that goes both ways. They've definitely seen that. So a bit of a nade over. Disco Doppler will fall back. Nice double nade from Ancient as well. They find half damage onto Maniz there as he retreats from T-Con. I can only imagine that would have killed him if he didn't move.
It's a smart move from Maniz. Has caught on to the fact that Ancient's been doing these huge nade stacks throughout most of the game so far. Map number 1. We're seeing something similar from Ancient happening quite often. We've got them a kill at 1.2. So Aristocracy, they're learning at a minimum here. They're learning enough. They need to try and come back, get this 6th round onto the board. 10-5 would still be somewhat respectable at a minimum at this point. Yeah. So they've certainly satisfied the minimum number of rounds for an okay T side on this map, but getting more than that, as we kind of expect them to, would certainly do better to further their case, considering the very weak CT side we've been seeing from most teams in this tournament.
Fast B play though. Molotov is good, but the swing is better. Double peak, and even though Aristocracy lose a lot of health, they gain control of the site and the bomb plant going down. Molotov's left up for the post plant as well, but blind shot from Draken through the smoke as well. He'll take down Ral, and things just got a little bit more interesting, and they continue to do so with Diha on this long wrap round through connector. Rusty surely not going to be ready for this, and Diha, that's just going to be the round-ending kill. There's nothing these CTs can do. Picked apart from every side. Disco Doppler coming in from the flank, and Maniz is ready. 2 kills on the AWP and another T-side round. Aristocracy starting to come alive near the end of the half.
It's a constant issue I'm noticing for Ancient too, is just not watching flanks. They're getting picked off so often by it. Even on attacks and whatnot, you know, like when they're on T-side, there's a lot of the times where they're not checking all the angles that are necessary and really getting messed up as a result of someone going unnoticed directly next to them from Aristocracy or any other team that they've played in this tournament.
Well, do or die time, last round of the half, and Ancient, they won that night. Got the buy for it as well. Draken just walks into Maniz, 1 step ahead. So ready for that peak. Gun swapped over as Disco Doppler picks up that AWP. He certainly had some time with it in the past, so not going to be a problem to run. Rusty's got to deal with Ivy as well, because one player's lurking down that position now. Aristocracy could afford to do so. They got a man advantage. Make that a double. Maniz, another AWP fight being picked up. And even though he gets tagged down to 16, he still stands strong with the AWP. 5 on 3 now. Ancient, they got a huge task ahead of them.
Look here. Ika able to walk right in for another quick pickup against Plopsky. So far, unresponded to. Rusty, really the last hope here, but he's going to be completely surrounded. Freddie B is completely detached from all this action that's been happening on the outer train yard. He's well in the back of B right now. He's going to try to rotate himself down through Pop Dog, but there's just not a whole lot of hope here. It's the last round, so we'll make an attempt at something. There's just not going to be a whole lot of room for him to maneuver into this. Finally gets a spot on Maniz. Maniz, there's no reason for him to play this out. Take a risk in peeking him. Freddy's got to be the one to make a move. He's got a kit, so he's got those 5 extra seconds, but won't mean much when he peeks out against a triple peek.
Yikes.
From the other side of the equation. Aristocracy get the 7th round up on the board, meaning we are going to be neck and neck at halftime. Stick with us. When we come back in just a sec, we're going to find out if we get a 3rd map or if Ancient will close this out 2-0.
Did I lose this ground? I know it isn't like me. Nothing's gonna right me ever since you struck me down. Thought it was just one hit. Now I'm in, I can't quit. My hands are tied, I can't break free. Said it was the last time, but I'm back here on the front line with you shooting holes in me. No matter what I do, you got my body in a cold sweat. You got my body in a cold sweat. Can't get enough of you. I can't eat, I can't sleep. Devil's in the front seat, driving me to hell and back. I wish I didn't want you, but no one does what you do, and nothing's gonna bring me back. Well, I could lie to you, and I could say withdrew, but you know that that ain't true. 'Cause you got my body in a cold sweat.
we are back once again, ladies and gentlemen, for more action between our Swedish team, Team Ancient, and the team from Poland. New blood here, Aristocracy, led, of course, by a legend, Taz, and is looking to get their first map onto the board here. Ancient, however, looking for the closeout, but they fell apart a little bit after getting a good lead going at the end of the first half here. Only ended up basically tying at 8-7. That's a good start, however, for Aristocracy, as Mouse finds the pick on Plopsky.
Quick tap. No time to react to that one. Ancient's still going to be setting up for this B play, though, regardless. Can see Freddy throwing that connector smoke. I love this connector smoke that Freddy's throwing. I first saw it from Angel, I think. It goes over through these windows inside of connector and lands on the B side of things. Really, really weird, but really effective. And now we're going to be seeing Ancient get ready to execute into B. Taz has a nade for the ramp. This could chunk them down, especially the armorless players, and the CZ is there to finish them off.
Perfect timing, nearly kills Freddy B, knocks off another 20 to 30 damage on other players, and this is it! Aristocracy dominate Ancient on the pistol, tying us up now at 8-8, with a good possibility that they'll push ahead with the lead.
Yeah, almost a guarantee at this point, right? That's 2 pistols under the wing of Aristocracy coming into this map as well. They had that 3-0 lead. They had the force buy up against them. So really, it's all in favor of Aristocracy here. If they can't pick up the map after this, then things are going to be rough. But right now looking good. Just Glocks for Ancient. Chance to find a 9th round on this CT side. 2 players on B. Maniz rotating around to join Mouse. He will be required. Could Ancient, they're just looking for this bomb plant. A classic B ramp rush. Mouse is ready with the smoke. They will definitely go through that. He's going to have to fight to the last breath.
Smoke down on the ground after he finds contact. Not that it's really needed against a play like this. Just playing it safe, however. Ancient don't have any utility to execute with. So it's just going to be a waterfall drop with these 3. The other 2 working their way out lower and hoping that it's enough to get them on site. More than likely not, though. Just due to the number of players that are here from Aristocracy, we'll see Maniz continue to pick them off one by one, but they do get the plant going at a minimum, which is something they weren't able to accomplish on the pistol round. They've at least got the bonus money from that. Trying to pick up the AUG to work with there, but Plopsky meets his fate relatively quickly. Rowland going to be kicked off. Draken, the last one alive, dinks at least 1 player, does some good damage, in fact, to multiple. Not enough to win the round, of course. So Aristocracy now going to take the lead, a 9-8 over Ancient.
Yeah, Formula 1 fragging there from Rowland, just running through the center of the site with the SMG, just holding W, cleaning up these Glocks. And nice and quick for Aristocracy there in the post plant, being able to get it done. Now, well, wise words from Barber going to be needed more than ever, because we've got a buy on the horizon here for Ancient. They can't afford to let Aristocracy run away with this scoreline here in the second half.
Barber, of course, a player up until relatively recently, but I think he said he was looking to try out and step into a coaching role. Player's been around for a pretty long time, actually, too, so he's got a lot of knowledge built up. Certainly could be useful for bringing up a young group of Swedish players.
I view Barbar as kind of like the Swedish Hunden in a way. Like, he's played with a lot of these up-and-coming Swedes. He's been around the block from time to time. He's definitely played with some of these guys. And that's only going to help him in his role, but in the server is what matters most right now. Ancient looking to run across Ivy. Oh, the boost! Diha, he gets one with a jump shot from Draken mid-air. Lands on. Back to the 4-on-4, quick trade. That could have gone any way there, but luckily enough, I don't think either team is going to be too miffed about that engagement. Does lead Aristocracy to only being able to run a single B player here. Triple A setup, but it will be the right call to make. Ancient already pushing in through the pop dog, trying to catch a timing. Taz, top of the train as well, and Maniz in the middle of the bomb site. He gets 1. Trade as well. Mouse has finally opened up to the advantage of Aristocracy, and there's little response here. This Ivy play is solo, and it's come in so late. Draken's dead, Freddy B alone, and he's got a huge clutch to perform. Won't be able to do it. Aristocracy, another rifle round to their name.
So they'll continue to push ahead. The lead goes further into their favor. So we nearly see folks from Ancient able to do it, but sadly falling in that final execute right towards the end there. It's not having the angles they need to play into it. And as such, Aristocracy shut it down. A 2-round lead now into their favor. The first gun round from Ancient a failure. Now they go into a half-bot round, but they're going to go quick on this one. Already out through T-Con. D-Cut trying to move forward over here. Right by E-Box to send this off. Good amount of damage done from Molly's, but the actual kills so far are even. A 2-for-2 exchange. As we see Ancient moving forward, a missed up shot from Manise. Mouse, though, able to find another one, bringing Ancient down to 2.
Yeah, still shouldn't get too much further here, but this one gun could do everything. Freddy, I don't know if he was spotted moving back, but they found Rusty planting. He got the bomb down just in time. It's a doable clutch for Freddy B here. 1 on 3. Aristocracy already pushed up aggressively, but Freddy's found the first. 2 kills to his name, and that bomb's still open. He could just try and hide, bunker down, force Aristocracy to make the next move, and they will, sticking the bomb. Already full defuse. Freddy can't stop it, and that might just be the round. Oh, so close! Kills the player after the defuse. A nice attempt from Freddy, but it's not going to be the round.
Other one just barely goes the way of Aristocracy. We've had quite a few of those close-shave defuses. Both ends of the spectrum as well throughout this series. It's been a bit of a nail-biter in that respect. But Ancient get very close. They get the plant bonus money. They're going to come right back in with another full buy. Plant money's going to give them a few extra trinkets to work with going into this round 2, along with that little bit of extra cash still left in the bank. Aristocracy, meanwhile, haven't really been able to take their money anywhere, so this could still be good for Ancient if they get started off well. Taz is there for the trade, though, but he can't keep it alive. Freddy B takes him down as he pushes E-Box a few seconds later. Rowlands moving in now for the counter. He's got to get it clean. But the thing is, this is all a fake. The actual play is happening on the inner site.
Yeah, Rowlands worked that out now after he's cleared out that pop dog, but it's too little too late. Bomb plant in for Ancient, and they're already getting time to establish post plants. Lots of utility, most importantly. Deep Molotovs. Plopsky's got to watch out. I don't know if he got spotted by Manise there, but he's so close around the edge of the train. That molly was ticking at the feet of Manise. He seems aware of the possibility, but Plopsky could find the timing inside a connector. And Aristocracy, they're bailing. They're out of this round. They're saving their guns for a rainy day because Ancient, that rotate completely busted them. Plopsky, he might even be able to get this orb.
Ooh. Certainly a good attempt, but Manise catching him. He's been very on point with these quick op shots today. Just like some of the other plays we've seen in the series and even in our other semifinal too. Draken. Like flank shot against Rowland. Not able to get it done, but thankfully he's got Rusty to support him from the other side. So they still pick up the kill. The 9th put onto the board for Ancient. Issue now, though. They picked up that first round. They got a lot of extra money to build up on it, too. Only losing 3 players means that they're still going to have a pretty respectable amount on essentially everyone for rebuys. Even going to get a pause in here as well. But it's not the case at all for Aristocracy, who find themselves near broken after just that single round loss.
Yeah, the CT side can be so costly as they're working that out the hard way, so a bit of a pause while they try and work out how they want to invest. And most importantly, what they want to do with it. This is where Ancient's going to potentially get a chance to start to close this distance, make this game even more close. Taz having some words with his team as well. I would love to know what kind of motivation he's going to bring to the table here. What he would say to his team to pump them up, because right now they need pumping. This is not a great buy. A couple of pistols. The AWP is in Manise's hands. This is still a doable round, but it's going to be a rough one. 2 guns, 3 pistols. Ancient on a full buy, and look at the pop dog play. Taz already there. Plopsky going to get picked up, and that's a free gun gifted over. Aristocracy have just massively increased their weaponry.
This is going to be dangerous now for Ancient. Very bold play from Plopsky. Huge high risk and certainly no reward. In fact, the opposite of that, a punishment now. That Aristocracy, the large majority of their players have guns to work with. The good news, though, is the close-up fight that's going to happen with Dika is, yeah, only a pistol for him, but Mouse can still make some decent impact. He's going to be found out before they move in, but it doesn't matter. A double for Mouse. They can't let him get away with this. Disco Doplin moves in and finds the trade, but now they're down a man because of the double, and the bomb is down in the open train lane. They're fearful to move in and pick it back up. They are able to accomplish it, though. Plant's going to come down in a second or two here.
Most importantly, notice there's a Molotov on Draken. He can play that post plant up in the B halls. There's no flank to get rid of him, and there's no smoke for this bomb. So this could get very, very close. Even with Disco Doplin dying, do not count Draken out of this situation.
You can see no smokes on the CT side either to counter that. Already threw the molly on the ground. He's got to have good timing for it. Goes down just over halfway done. Even bops off one of the players' heads. Holds off the flank against one player trying to push it. Ladder push against him. No scope to pick that kill up. And now Taz taps onto the bomb. Going to try to force Draken to the open. It's worked. He can play the timing on it now. He knows he hasn't committed to it. Draken just barely surviving. He's done the job he needs. Now he can run. Get out of there. Try to survive. Reach minimum safe distance, although he's not going to be able to do that. Still goes down, but it doesn't matter. Ancient have won the round and are 1 away from tying it.
What a huge play from Draken there, and that is the value of holding on to utility, going back into the B-bomb site there. Such a common play to save a Molotov for that post plant, and it single-handedly wins him the round. Some incredible shots behind it, of course, but that's broken Aristocracy. Think about that as well. They had the man advantage. They had guns to play with after getting that kill on Duplopsky. That was a great start for Aristocracy, and it all falls apart thanks to Draken. Pistols here, but not much behind them. Still Kevlar.
There is a chance for Aristocracy to upset against Ancient here. They can still put them in a bad situation, and that's how you get it started. Boosting Taz up into the back Whitehall. Picks off Plopsky. They aren't able to retrieve a second gun from it just yet, but they might be able to do so. Decon, a lineup to find Freddy. Moves forward, looks for another, but again, it's only trades. This won't favor a long-term goal. They've got 2 of those AKs now, as Manise is able to pick one up too.
Yeah, and on both the armored players as well. That could be something here for Aristocracy, but the smoke just hit Manise. I wonder if they heard that. There was impact and noise made as a result. 3 players on this A site for either side, and there's another trade. This could get good for Aristocracy. In a 2v2 now, Draken's picked up Manise on the flank. It's just Rallen, armorless, weaponless, only on a pistol, and he's not going to be able to find the shot. Ancient do shut it down in the 2-on-2 there, but very, very close. Aristocracy, they have such a talent of making all these pistol rounds look so winnable. And even though they're not necessarily getting those victories, even just the damage and the money removed from Ancient can come back to bite them later in the map.
Yeah, all it's going to take, similarly to how it was the same situation for Ancient when they broke Aristocracy, is one real big gun round win. And look at the money for Ancient.
Yeah.
You've got Disco and, to a certain extent, Rusty that could try to force in if they lose this round without any saves. But other than that, they're completely broken. Tika walking right up to the push as well. Finds a 2-for-1 exchange. Allen with a nade inside. Doesn't actually find as much damage as I thought he would. It's a great lineup against Freddy, takes him down, and Ancient basically trying to force themselves into the fight. I'm not sure what happened with Manise, but he's going to get burned out from 100-0 from a Molly.
Missed that one, maybe scoped up, but look at Taz. He's pushed down Ivy, he's found the perfect timing. Draken checks it, but Taz plays tight to the wall. That is so perfect. 3-on-2 and all the info here for the CT side. Yet to find this bomb as it has gone up round through the pop dog.
Now, Taz is not necessarily going to walk right into a free kill anytime soon. It depends on what Ancient decide to do. If both go out pop dog, Taz can have massive impact. But if they head in the back, immediately this flank is useless, at least temporarily, until he can route back up through Whitehalls again.
The info's important, though. He can just send his team rotating down towards B. He's cleared out T-Con. He knows that it has to be a B play unless it's full pop. And Rallen's pushed up. Miles has rotated round. Aristocracy know exactly what's going on.
Ancient as well, still being very slow with their approach on this. They've given time for the rotate. Rallen's missed the cue on being able to cut any of them off in box stalls, but he can still pinch this. There's no way they're going to expect someone to walk out lower at this point. So out they're going to go. They do actually look towards Rallen and see him just as he moves out into the open, so he's going to be pushed back, but it's still a very awkward angle that Ancient now have to play into. They plant on the side of the bomb train, as they know lower is not under their control. Draken spots the first rotate, nearly gets Taz, but it's only a leg or collateral through the wall, so Taz is going to get the better of it. Disco now alone in a 1v2, spots the second player at upper end, kills him. Now he's got to find the read on Taz. 11 versus 14 HP. Taz will flash out from upper, tries to take the fight, but it's too early. Taz wins it out instead, and it's Aristocracy that'll get a 12th round.
How on earth does Disco Doppler miss that shot after some splendid shots in that round? 3 kills from him, but he just misses the one bullet he needed onto Taz. Didn't even need to take the fight. He had that round every single time. Poor guy. That's very unlucky. But retake coming in for Aristocracy comes down very close, considering how at one point how favorable that was for the CT side, with Taz having all the info on the long wrap round, the ramp control when that bomb was getting planted. I think if that ramp player on that flank didn't peek upper and just waited for the bomb plant, they would have planted default. He would have won that round before it even came down to the one-on-one. But it wasn't meant to be. Either way, 12-11, skin of their teeth, Aristocracy hold on to the lead. Manise doesn't even have armor behind this AWP, and it's nice to see Ancient stop their pop drops, especially with a double setup from the CT side.
Yeah, they're starting to expect it now. It was a problem for, I think, Tricked when we looked at their series too, was not wanting to fade away from their more aggressive tendencies and ended up costing them more than one round on occasion. So Ancient, they also have to sacrifice a little bit too. You know, Draken had to go for the glass cannon up by. I said before, they never really were able to establish economy on the rounds that they were winning, and that holds true. After this, they're completely broken, so they have to hope they can immediately trade this out and tie us at 12-12.
Ooh, does it spread? I think he's okay. And this double stack remains. Ancient not aware of what could be down below this pop dog.
Look at the Ivy pressure though, and there's no one from Aristocracy there to stop it right now. Rowland would be the closest thing, but Rowland's doing double duty, watching both T-Con and Ivy. So there's a good chance he'll completely miss this and get immediately picked off.
He's working day and night shifts. He's got a lot on his plate. And let's see if he's hungry. Already posted up. 3 players coming. If they smoke the right side, he's going to be completely negated by that utility. But there's none of it. There's no smokes left. Only flashbangs and fire. Rowland gets one. Diha another shot going off. And Draken will get a single trade. But that's all that Ancient have in this round. 20 seconds. Bomb plant does go down successfully. Aristocracy are a long way away for this retake. But they've got plenty of time to do it. These T's trying to establish post plants. But surely they don't expect 2 coming in from T spawn.
It's going to be the question that'll get answered. They do rotate in appropriately to counter that out. They're not really waiting. They're not really too wary of Z pressure at this point. Draken, a lag on Mouse, not what they needed. Freddy B is now going to get pinched in a moment here, but Draken able to finish off Taz. Freddy knows he's going to have pressure on top. Green Train in a second. They tag onto the bomb. Manish trying to force them out, and it works. Gets Freddy B into the open. Draken also falls a second later. So it's Aristocracy to take yet another round that'll completely break Ancient, meaning that they've nearly got the 14th confirmed, in addition to the 13th they've just claimed.
That's so huge from Manish as well. He taps the bomb, but he wide peaks so wide that he can catch that T jiggling. They didn't even commit to the fight. They weren't even trying to get a player off the bomb, but it was the doubt. A tap. That always scares you as a player, right? You never know. Even if you think, oh yeah, they're probably not sticking it, but what if they are? Always in the back of your mind. And Ancient, well, the forefront of their mind is their money, and it's not looking great. Tech9's coming out with a few flashbangs here and there as they start to pound across the yard, already running down off. 3 players very, very deep. These CTs aren't aware of this just yet, but Taz has picked up one. Now coming out from the back of the green train. Rowland's got to line up the same, but he can't do so. Luckily enough, there's so many CTs on this A site. B is empty at this point. It is a battleground in the yard, and Taz is not done just yet. Second kill coming through. Mouse will follow up. And this is looking like a done deal, surely undoable for Freddy. Yeah,
info game from Ancient wasn't the best. Unfortunately, a lot of the misguided peaks from them that time when they tried to move out in the open. Obviously pretty chaotic, so you can't really blame them for it. Freddy, just not a whole lot to work with. Trying to find some kind of angle to line up these deagle shots, but don't think it's going to happen. He narrowly avoids getting cut off by Manish there. In fact, that could still be a possibility if he peeks too far on top of this train. He's down to 4 HP now. Miracle he survives that long. But there's the 14th round confirmed by Aristocracy. 2 more, and we go to our 3rd and final map on Nuke.
Yeah, I was a little worried coming into this half, right? We had our Aristocracy start off with a 4-0, but it was kind of similar to the previous half. The pistol and the full spies all going their way. And then we started to hit rifles, and we had 3 in a row from these Swedes. And at that point, I was thinking, oh no, is that happening again? 2 halves in a row. But Aristocracy, they have managed to really tighten up their ship. 14 to 11, 2 rounds separate them. Plopsky does get that drop in, risky, but he gets it successfully this time. Not pushed by these CTs, but they still remain ever close, ever threatening. 4 on this A site.
Yeah, the problem is, well, they can take Pop Dog now. T-Con is being watched by 2 different players on Aristocracy when it was open 2 rounds ago, and they didn't really execute on it that well. So this is a bit of a judgment call that H will have to make about how they approach it. Oh, they're potentially going to walk with 3 guys right out into that T-Con play too. But however, they've also got 2 guys ready to move in from Pop Dog. Manish misses the opening shot. That's what Ancient needed. Get rid of the op right from the start. And an extra kill on Rowland, along with the tag on Taz, is going to help Dika so far with the only trade. But even he goes down a few moments later. It's on Mouse now. A clean take from Ancient as Aristocracy try to fight it head on and pay the price.
And we talk about money, but it goes both ways. Aristocracy have nothing left. Mouse has to save this gun. It's desperation here for Aristocracy. Even though they hold the lead, it is on a knife's edge. Can tilt either way at this point. Ancient going to be able to keep 4 alive for the time being, looking to hunt down this final man. They might find him, but not in the way they were hoping. Freddy hits a shot, and there is no save today. Aristocracy, money is gone. And the 12th round game for Ancient, nipping at the heels of their opposition.
So close to bringing this back once again, but the T side of Train so unforgiving if you don't have the appropriate info or you make the wrong call. A pause is going to come in for Ancient after they close out on that one. These next few rounds are incredibly important, and I bet that's a good part of what Barbard is telling his team right now. Do not mess these next few rounds up.
I can't lip read, especially not in Swedish.
Maybe someone in the audience can help us out. We'll bring him back here.
That's actually Ancient's first pause as well, surprisingly enough. Being the underdogs coming into this event, you know, already surprising and upsetting to get this deep in the tournament. and holding on to all their pauses, confident. And that's what I like to see. These guys have been around the block. They have plenty of experience, at least individually. And let's see it put to the test. Not in this round, though. Full USPs. Deagle for Mouse. And what we would imagine will be a 13th round for Ancient. But let's see if Aristocracy can continue to make these pistol rounds interesting.
Ancient know that something's up in the back post here. They wait for it, but it doesn't matter. Mouse absolutely drops one onto Plopsky, and Taz picks up a kill as well on Draken. You can't let this happen again. There's the first trade. 2 more, and we're back in their good graces, but that's not the way you want to see a round start out.
Not at all. Why is it Taz always finding opening kills with pistols?
It's a USP as well that he gets his on.
Despicable.
Fully bought out tease.
Mouse tried to grab the gun from B-Halls as well, but I guess his arms weren't long enough. So he gets away with the Deagle, which is fine, but an AK in this situation, in a 4-on-3, that makes all the difference. But these CTs continue to get aggressive, and Ancient are ready for it, patient. I admire the play there from Aristocracy, right? Trying to go up the ladder, knowing there are only 3 Ts alive, and chances are, you know, somewhere has to be not covered. They can't have everything, but Pop Dog certainly. That's been a real point of contention across this map. Oh, that's a leg. Rusty.
Did you not see it?
Yeah, someone must have called it for him. And there it goes. Oh no, how is Rowland alive?
Either way, good damage.
Yeah.
But the problem is timing now. Look at Ancient. They don't have any time left to actually execute anymore. 20 seconds. They've got to move in. Rowland, a bit of a moment of desperation, or I guess you could say a moment of opportunity that he tries to take, but unfortunately doesn't end up working out so well. He'll get taken down from that. Mal's still a potential to line up a shot for him. The plant goes in. Maniz, sadly, not really anywhere near where he needs to stop this plant. Could have won the round on that. But instead, still has an AK, and is going to try to make a run with that.
Yeah, if he pop flanked there and no one was covering it, I think he could have actually stopped that bomb from going down. He grabbed this gun from B-Halls and pushed all the way around. Does get Rusty. The question here is, does he go for any more? Because it's not like they're rolling in money on this CT side. Diha's on 17, Rowland's on 19, so this gun would make a difference. And I think he's realized that as well.
This was supposed to be the clean round for Ancient. This was supposed to be the one they take with 4 or 5 players alive. They get a little bit of money built up, enable the possibility for a rebuy. That's gone now. They're still in the same position they've been in for pretty much the entire half, but they just barely have enough. They do drop Maniz, so no saved AK from Aristocracy, but they're going to rebuy next round regardless, so he doesn't care too much about that.
Yeah, if Aristocracy run over Ancient in this round, we're hit a situation where they have 15 rounds and Ancient are forcing. Not what you want to be in at all. Especially when you're already a map up, just a few rounds away from hitting that grand final later. But Aristocracy want to take it away from them. They've got the buy. 2 Orgs with no armor. I mean, this is just showing how much they want the Org meta. When you go for these weapons without even buying up Kevlar, that's a huge risk, but much rather that than SMGs, I guess.
And the Op does have armor behind it, which is the more interesting part of this, but you can see the power of it. Immediately, Plopsky gets pelted as he tries to go for a pretty bold play out Pop Dog this early on. Freddy, however, able to work himself past Olaf into the sandwich. Now has a forward position. What can he do with it? That's the thing. They don't have good intel. And if he peeks, he's more than likely peeking against an AUG at pretty long range. That's already scoped in as well.
Scary times. If only Ancient knew what they were up against. If they knew that there was no armor on 2 players, they would be very, very happy indeed, but can't assume. Oh, that's a good kill though. Freddy, he's opened up and he's already deep inside of the site at this point as well. So this really throws a whirlwind in this round for Aristocracy. They're wondering how deep are these Ts? How much further could they be? 2 on the A site, but hardly on the A site. Rowland's boosted up in the connector. Taz has been mollied off down old bomb. He's got to back off. Rowland trying to get a pick and he does manage to drop that bomb. Still plenty of time for it to be picked up, but a molly on top of his position. He'll have to smoke and fade away.
So Z completely smoked off, is going to re-enable the possibility for a plant, but at a cost. Taz works his way in, finds Disco Dot. The gambit of buying in without armor seems to have worked perfectly, as Ancient barely realized this. Rowland, of course, not even in this site right now, so hasn't had to play in too much to it yet. But Freddy, with another pickup, mind you, they've got the plant down, so Aristocracy are the ones that have to get aggressive now, can play this back a bit more, but Draken doesn't have the best position to play into this. They don't stay on the defuse. Freddy finds another pickup. You still have Draken sitting in the back of Pop Dog too, but he's alone now. They've jumped onto the defuse. He's got to make a play here. Is he going to be able to do it? No, does not stop it. They jumped off it regardless. but they still have time for this defuse, and that's going to be the end of the round. Aristocracy go up to 15. Ancient sit 2 rounds behind now. They need them both in a row, and they've got no money to do it with.
Wow, that bomb plant does make the difference, though. They're going to get a bit of a boost of cash, but what a round from Aristocracy. The balls to make that call on going for 2 orcs with no armor, and as you said, putting armor on the AWP as well. That's just, you know, that's incredible, and it works. So defuse coming through, and 15-13. Overtime has to happen if Ancient want to win train.
The money's not actually nearly as bad as I thought it was. Ancient actually put together a pretty respectable buy. They're going to come roaring out with it, though, and it works. A 2-for-1 exchange. Possibility for it to be evened out by Manise, but no. Aristocracy down to just 2 left. However, Malice puts up another fight here, takes down Freddy. And Ancient as well, only with 3. They've got to slow things down here, make sure they don't mess this up.
Yeah, and hope that Aristocracy are the ones to rotate or over-rotate in this situation. Just that hesitation, the delay, puts a seed of doubt in the mind of Aristocracy, but no doubt needed. Draken's found another kill. They know it's A for sure. Miles is going to stick around, but he's in a 1-on-3. No kit. But it might not come to a bomb plant situation. As he spots a player falling off the top, he's going to see a second one. Give the info in the world, but none of the shots to hit. Klopsky shuts it down. In the blink of an eye, 15-14. Last round of regulation, do or die. You're laughing at those glasses, aren't you?
No, I laughed at the guy that was smelling his armpits on camera.
Is that Harry? Get out of the crowd, Harry.
No. It was 2 dudes and a lot of Swedish regalia. So, but Ancient are going to use another one of their pauses. Makes sense at this point. They really need to iron down the strat here, because although, once again, Aristocracy are going to be broken going into this round, that does not mean that the round's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, we've learned that one.
Aristocracy are the kings of pulling out very, very close shaves with ecos here.
I wonder if they'll go for the orgs again without armor. I think that's too much of a risk for it to be consistent, but let's see how much money they have to throw into this one. Not going to be a lot.
Yeah, they were only sitting at about like 1,000 or so per player. No, yeah, it's going to be pretty rough.
Underestimated. Yeah, this is spelling overtime, Blue. But
don't finish spelling it just yet.
Yeah, let's see.
A lot of nades from Ancient getting tossed into the back halls. I think they expected some more aggression after what happened in the last round. But that's the thing, right? Aristocracy aren't repeating strats. They usually try something crazy once, maybe a second time in a detached round. It's very rare that they've fallen into a predictable pattern on this CT side. And that's going to be the ultimate issue for Ancient, is they don't necessarily know what to expect and where to expect it. Manise, this part, they might be able to read into a little bit.
Manise, he saw those birds flying off down Ivy. There are birds deep Ivy, and if Ts get close to it, they fly away. It works as well if CTs get aggressive. So he saw the birds and scoped in as a result, aware that Ancient were around the corner. And that just changes everything, because Aristocracy had a triple B setup, and now they've rotated all these players over.
They're going to move everyone onto the A site. Ancient as well don't really have a position where they can wrap this. The only other thing they could change up if they get the intel is by trying to go the back halls and then wrapping into B, but that smoke they just threw indicates they're certainly not going to be trying to do that. This is a push out onto the A site. Aristocracy have everyone here to stop this and end the map now.
But do they have the shots? 35 seconds. Ancient walking into the Lion's Den. Freddy, he gets one. Draken able to help his teammate out. The trades are in for this T side, and Popsky's doubled up on the side. Rallen falls as well, and just like that, Ancient have done it. 15-15, overtime. This game is not done. This map is not over, and there's still a chance for those grand finals to be taken here on Train.
It's a slow and arduous process for Ancient to work their way back into it, but they get it done. Tie us up now and take it into overtime. It's standard rules, folks. So first to 19 will win the first overtime, or we'll tie up again at 18 and restart the whole process all over again. 6 rounds in total will be played out.
If needed.
Yeah.
Could be that quick 4-0, but you never really see that in overtime.
We'll see. Ancient, obviously money and all that's going to be reset too. Economy was a big part of these last 6 rounds or so in determining who would win them. So that threat for both these teams, that's going to be gone now. Don't have to worry about that too much anymore.
The AWPs are in. Manise and Draken. No double CT AWP. The Aristocracy have never really been keen to cater towards that. Draken sitting just above a Molotov. How is he still not burning?
Yeah, really.
Very, very close. But sets up instead. Smoke goes down, and Ancient are going to bail out of this position.
A few steps away from it, though. So we'll see. Everyone from Ancient working their way back over towards T-Con. You still have Disco Doppler in position to push the box holes too, but he's more watching for aggression from the B site, trying to deny them info and keep the possibility of a B take alive. Got Aristocracy in aggressive positions again, most notably Dika inside of the Pop Dog spot, and Mal's watching for any type of close-up play that would happen over in back box holes. He's even going to nade it in a second too if Disco pushes this.
That's just a smoke for fadeaway. Second, he spots a player, throws it down, denies any entrance into that B site.
The nade did get tossed down by Mal's, so another smoke from the CT sideways. They still have 2 left with 48 seconds remaining, however, so it's still a pretty respectable amount of utility. Another smoke's going to get chucked out, I think, to block Pop Dog. Final one also being deployed by the remaining CTs. So out of smokes now, still 2 mollies to restrict this too, so Aristocracy, you're actually doing okay on utility. That molly going to do lots of damage to Rusty. It's even going to force him out. Very unlucky for Rusty. The rest of the Ancient roster not looking too much better, but they do change their luck. Disco and Plopsky both find kills. Taz gets mollied back into old bomb tunnel. The team can push up. They can find their plant. Gotta be careful. They're getting greedy here, pushing into Manise, but it doesn't seem to matter. 3 kills coming out at the end for Ancient, and they take the first round of OT.
Rusty, what a play from him as well. He gets caught in that Molotov, but he throws the bomb back to his teammates. May not look like anything, but that could have saved the round. That could have changed everything. There were 2 players with their eyes dedicated on Ivy there when he got mollied out. So even though he dies, the fact that he's able to get that bomb back and into safety allows his team to pick up the round. So
it also potentially throws like a false sense of security over at Aristocracy. It's like, all right, we got the 1 Ivy guy.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about the pressure anymore. When in reality, there's like 3 more sitting behind the flames.
Oh, Pop Dog, Diha, he's back in this position. Nade is going to go through. He does dodge it fully. No damage, but Ancient, there's a little bit more utility where that came from. Molly to follow, and the double drop as that expires. Diha's posted up and ready. And there it is, 1 for 1. Quick trade going through, getting the better of Ancient. Aristocracy with the HP favor and the positional advantage. They pushed into T-Con as well. Still running a double B setup because of this info, but they've got to be aware of Ivy, and that's why Rowland is watching. But as said, on double duty, as he always is, carrying towards the Pop Dog as well. Not an easy site to hold, so they will decide to rotate a man over. Manise is coming through the spawn. He can watch from old bomb, but he's being wrapped by Freddy. He might get blindsided by this position. Luckily looking away, but he's getting caught. Just about moves back in, but Freddy does the same, taking the kill onto the A site, and now that's going to force a rotate off of B, giving the perfect timing for his team to move down with the bomb.
Freddy doing so much, well, barely doing anything at all, to be honest, right now. Picks up that first kill, a fast trade from Mouse, though, and now the jig is up, but the problem is, here comes the take on ramp. Mouse, though, they're not paying attention to him. He gets a lot of damage out in the open, even kills Rusty. Look at this, Disco and Draken, with just under 20 HP between the 2 of them. They still have to pull off this post plant now.
Yeah, that was a delayed play from Ancient. The second that Freddy gets that kill, I'm surprised they didn't just go bounding into the bomb site, but they allow Miles to set up and do the damage. Can the rest of these CTs convert it? We'll have to see. Disco's got aggressive. Oh, the barrel of the gun. It's giving away his position, but Manise hits a shot. Taz creating a distraction on the left side there as now Draken's left alone. Smoke for this molly, so it's not going to be a problem. He's trying to do it again. Nade to follow, but it doesn't really matter. They're sticking the defuse, and Aristocracy, they picked up the round.
The tie working its way in now. Neither team going to be able to cut ahead in Ancient, although they had good intentions with their play, especially the lurk out onto the A site that pulls the rotate away. They're too slow to execute. They waste the opportunity. They allow Mouse to go back through Zeke at the setup. He puts a massive amount of damage onto the 3 players that push down ramp together, and that sets it up for a very simple 2v2 post plant for the remaining Aristocracy members.
Freddy's having an impeccable game as well. 28 kills on this guy. What a time to come alive. Disco Doblin back in the Pop Dog. Not going to be contested this time by Aristocracy. They've pretty much given it up since we hit OT, with the exception of Diha getting that 1-for-1 trade. Nice shot from Draken. Early pick up down Ivy. And the best part about that is he fades away. For the rest of the round, Aristocracy are going to be scared of someone walking up Ivy after finding that kill, but Ancient have no one there. So Aristocracy have to dedicate a player to a dead position.
You say that though, but look at Aristocracy. They're not actually really biting into it. Manise would be the only one. He's going to fall back into it now. A nice 2-man pinch on Dika as he tries to push himself inside a Pop Dog. Aristocracy have got to be really careful with this aggression. I get that they're behind. I get they need to get aggressive in order to try and trade these kills back out, but they're making some very bold plays, and these are plays that Ancient are watching. They're aware of this. They've tried it before. Ancient know what's going to be coming their way. Got an easy 5v2 lined up, but basically a walk into the B site. Ancient, I think, have realized all the defenses are set up on A. So they're going to take the easy plan on B. These last two from Aristocracy, well, there's not going to be much for them to do. It's the end of the half. They'll attempt something, but in a 2v5 with virtually zero utility, there's not really anything they can do.
And look how deep Ancient already are. I mean, these guys are up in CT spawn essentially at this point. Spotted by Maniz. That's a free kill. That's something, but can they work off of it? Can they convert it? Almost. Second shot just about missing. Disco Doplin's got their number though, and he's right behind. They weren't ready for the deep CT control. Even though Maniz is hitting shots left and right, it's still a 2-on-3. I don't want to expect it, and I will not. Freddy shuts it down. 29 kills on him, just bordering that 30 bomb, and I'm sure we'll hit it as we head over to the second half of overtime.
Just one more separating him between, and we're going to go into the second half now. 2 more rounds are needed by Ancient. All 3 need to be picked up by Aristocracy, or at a minimum 2 for the tie. We'll jump into it pretty much immediately here. It's still incredibly close. Both teams bringing it down to the wire here on our second map, and it's just Aristocracy fighting for survival at this point to take this to a third map on Nuke. Ancient are fighting for the spot in the grand finals to go up against Optic. A bit of a Nordic derby that we'd have in that eventuality.
And a game that they lost in the group stage as well. So a bit of a rematch, a bit of a history there. Let's see if we will get to see that matchup, or if Aristocracy are going to give us one more map of this series. I wouldn't be against it. It's been great so far, but only one team can go forward. AWP's coming through. Rowland's going back to spawn. He's forgotten something. That's an AK. I guess going for a quick T-con pick and then swapping out guns.
Still going to leave the bomb on the ground, so Aristocracy playing around with their positioning a little bit. Ancient, in the meanwhile, sticking pretty close to the A-bomb train, so definitely in position for a fast rotate to B if that intertake happens. Aristocracy haven't even made their decision on how they're going to play that yet, so it's good that Ancient as well are going to play this pretty loose.
Yeah, I really like the setup from Ancient. Something they haven't shown at all in regulation. Something that is very, very odd. Extremely passive. Aristocracy taking their time as well. This could come down to those final 20 seconds if these Ts don't commit soon enough. They've got the util for it, starting to fly out on top of the site.
This is the bad part about this setup, is it does let Aristocracy pretty much walk out the first, 50 steps or so. It's not until they get to the bomb train they're going to have to go up against any setup from Ancient. And they've even got the utility as well, so the oppers that are posted up that normally would have been able to do this damage can't punish them as much. And there we go. The 2 immediate trades coming in from Aristocracy because they have them so heavily pinched. Looking for more than that, though. It's a bit of a struggle, but they get the job done. It's down to just Freddy and Draken now. Plant goes onto the ground. Timer starts ticking. There's a pinch working its way back in from old bomb tunnel, but it doesn't really give Freddy any type of angle to play with. Most of Aristocracy fall back behind the trains. A good spot from him. It's got Mal's pretty low, too. The Molly's going to allow him to peek in a sandwich without having to worry about a jump out too early on here. Smoke to cover it up. Bomb plant right in the open. Freddy finds another pick, but Dika finally takes him down. Draken's alone. 1v2 step before him. He doesn't really have the luxury of time either. Won't need it. Dika takes him out. Aristocracy tie us up again at 17-17.
That was a weird one there from that CT side. I mean, they were so focused on watching that smoke. No one was watching that bomb site. No one was watching the train. Dika just jumps up and gets a couple of kills. Even the Heaven player seemingly unaware of the possibility. Letting the ball drop there in that round. 17-17. Ancient very close in that 1-on-2, but it's still going to be a Polish pickup. Almost. Very close. It's AWP again for Rowland. He might swap it out back to the AK, and that's indeed the case.
It's a couple pixels off the mark there on that pre-fire through the wall. Draken, though, he's going to take some heat. Loses about half of his HP.
See ya.
Dika trying to spam in for damage, pays the price. It's knocked out immediately afterwards. Rusty, initially with a pretty aggressive hold in B, and if he had stayed there, he might have been able to catch Mal's right around now, but he's fallen back and is instead going to play into the inner train yard. Rest of Ancient still setting up for an A hit, but I don't think that's what we're going to get from Aristocracy. Pretty much everyone on the team working their way into back Whitehalls now and setting up for a B drop.
And Ancient, they were able to play 2 players here. 5v4. Numbers advantage and still utility to go out onto this ramp. The smoke will slow things down just for another few seconds. Mollies are going to be primed and ready as well, most importantly. Both these incendiaries left on Ancient are on B right now, so that's it doesn't get much better. Now, the push coming through, smoke going over, and the molly will land, but it's only going to cut off half of the smoke time. These T's can still go through, and they have into the molly, into the nade, and into the fire of flames. Taz is dead, Rusty's followed up, and he's almost killed the second, switches back, but gets it at the end, leaving Rallin alone as the trade eventually comes through, but 1 on 4, ace needed. I'm not counting my breath, holding my breath.
Trying to instantly pre-fire on peak. Now finding the lineup 13 against the first, gets half of the second. It's a good attempt, that's for sure. Not enough, though. Ancient are going to go up on map, and Series point first, but they've only got one shot at closing it out before we reset and go into the second overtime.
Do or die, or do again in another overtime. Whatever's on the cards here. That spray from Rusty as well. Looks like he gets the kill, looks away and goes, oh no, what's happened? At least he gets it finished off, traded eventually. Probably could have even killed Rallin on the site, but not a worry. It was dealt with effectively by Ancient. Rallin not going for this AWP pick, but we do have Deher on it, so I guess going for that wallbang once again. They've been doing it pretty much every round of OT. Money isn't a problem, but HP is. Taz will find out the hard way. Big nades coming in through T-Con early. Double Ivy setup, and Draken's going to hit the shot. His teammate falls just after, but it's a 4-on-4 with HP advantage. Not positional though. Taz is pushed up, once again finding a gap in this A site, and it might be another overtime still.
Freddy and Rusty. Rusty specifically, he's got a position where he can still make some impact, but he's walking right into Manise and doesn't realize it. An easy shot to his back. Freddy against the world right now. A 4K. Needs to close out this round and end the game now. I'm not going to count on it, but let's see what he can show us. Right at the edge of the Ivy smoke. The vision being given to him. He can't even secure that first kill, though, and that's the end of overtime number 1. Manise ties it up. We are locked 18-18, and we will reset and start over again.
And 1 HP on Manise there after that spray. Just about getting away with it. Org may be great at ranges, but unscoped at a long range, you're going to have a rough time controlling that spray. Not wanting to maybe give away his position with the right click. Scope is audible to your enemies nearby, and there were plenty of that. So 18-18, anyone's game at this point. And as you say, just basically restarting over. Everything from the last 6 rounds, gone and forgotten, over.
Still the same objective, though. 4 out of 6 of these rounds needed to win. 22 is now the magic number. 21 to tie and guarantee a third overtime. Let's get into it. Sides are going to remain the same at the start of the OTs, so Ancient stays on the CT side, Aristocracy still on the attack.
Ooh, and Plopsky, well, he's not on the T side to drop in fast, but he will push fast on the CT side instead. Not for long. Molotov sends him out nice and early on. Won't commit to that position. Aristocracy falling in. Plopsky can get flashed in. That's something Ancient like to do. They like to flash into Pop Dog. Oh, so close.
Oh, Disco. Twice in a row, he nearly spams the wall in the right spot here. Falls just short. Plopsky, so blinded, but he's hiding in the smoke. Picks up the first. A second to fall in. Transfer is on to a third. Wow. A fourth is picked up by Draken Dika. So far with the only kill from Aristocracy, but now Manise will add a second to the counter. He's got to look for a whole lot more than this, though. Taking his time with the approach. Trying to spot out these angles. The problem is he's got Freddy right behind him. Sitting in the upper tunnel still. A missed shot on the back area. He's going to try to go up the ladder. And hello and goodbye. Freddy denies it. Drops the bomb in the process, and once again, the Swedes will take the lead at the start of halftime.
All too familiar territory there, but what a play from Plopsky. In the smoke, they run right by him, and he even hits the third headshot as well. Now, that is despicable. And that's an example of when the Org is good unscoped. At closer range. Gets it done, 19-18. Aristocracy still running this single AWP, no longer going for this quick T-Con pick, the wallbang that has never worked this game so far at least. Draken, he's going to get aggressive, but denied by the Molotov. Aristocracy, they're just dealing with this CT pushing with their own Molotovs, right? Pop Dog, Plopsky's cut out. B Upper, Draken's cut out. Ancient, they want to take these fights, and Aristocracy are not giving them to them.
Everybody else on Ancient right now, taking their time, waiting for the play to come in from Aristocracy, as they also need to take a moment and decide how exactly they want to play into this. Keeping their options open. A little bit of utility going to be used over towards Ivy, and they've got the bomb, plus Manise, ready to move in through T-Con. So it seems like it's going to be an outer hit once again, and it's probably going to be heavy on Ivy. Wow. More and more players continuing to shift in this direction. Not necessarily the heaviest hold on it from Ancient either. You've got 2 players kind of passively holding it on the outside. So this can work from Aristocracy.
Smoke and Molly down, but the orb scoped up here for Ancient. Draken's on the angle. He's got a tough shot to hit, and they've already passed him. He realizes it. Can't hit the second shot either. They're already round through CT spawn. They've got to cross a very difficult angle, though, and Draken's already posted on it. No one coming from the pop dog, and they know it. They've got control. The T-Con's being split at the same time, and the bomb's been dropped in the open. Rusty with a big kill. Tag coming in on the AWP, and Diha still stands tall. Rallen's helped him out. Both these players low within the sight, and Draken's still fighting tooth and nail to keep this game alive. 8 HP the difference. But it's Diha alone in a 1-on-2. Both players ready to fight, and they will. Ancient 20 rounds to 18, 2 in a row in double OT.
Draken, what a warrior, hiding behind that bomb train for so long and delaying the push. He was the key player that held back the push from Aristocracy for pretty much that entire round. If he's not there, if the op presence isn't on top of the train, those guys in old bomb tunnel, they don't have the fear anymore. They're fine pushing out with the one player hiding in a corner. But since he was able to stay alive for so long, and interestingly, like Manise and Evox walked out and just wasn't even, I don't know what happened there. Either a bad comm and they just didn't realize that he was still sitting behind bomb train, or Manise never got the info.
He was staring at Pop Dog, but I don't know why.
Yeah. There was no pressure from Pop Dog at that point, so it was very weird.
Bad read or bad comms, whatever it is. The cracks are showing here in double overtime. Not for Taz, though. Again, he's found a timing. How is he in the center of the A site? He's already passed these CTs, and this could make everything. He finds a kill to Plopsky, wrapping back around the right side, and they're not ready for it. Rusty gets picked up as well. Disco Doppler trading, but he's stuck alone in the Pop Dog, and they've just swung on him from T-Con. Draken's on that long flank through the B push, and Freddy B's still here on Ivy. They've got to deal with that, but Draken won't be ready for the Ivy. Fall back. Rallen going above. Draken's got to hit the shot, but Rallen fakes him, falls back down and hits him. Freddy B now alone on this A site, waiting for Disco Doppler to rotate desperately, and the shots aren't even connecting. It's looking rough for Ancient.
4v1 for Disco Doppler. They know where he is too now. He's cut a flash to try and chuck out a bit of a Hail Mary here, hoping he hits something with it, but the round is over. He's gonna try to pick up a few more kills. He finds one. That's it. Another 2-1 trade in the favor of Ancient as we end the first half.
I think the coolest thing about this Polish team is the fact that Taz, this guy is not just at the helm of the team. He's not just the guy leading them. He's able to consistently go into a site like this and just find 2 kills without the CTs even being aware. A playmaker as well as the in-game leader here for this T side. And now switching over. And wow, what a game he's had, but it still might be all in vain. Ancient holding the advantage as we head into the second half of this overtime. As said earlier, 22 being the magic number. They need 2 out of these 3 rounds if they want to pick up the win, go straight to those grand finals, face Optic later on. And for not only money, not only the pride, but also a spot in Masters. It's all to play for here in Sweden.
A lot on the line for these teams, both relatively new in the grand scope of Counter-Strike and trying to establish a lot. As Manise hits a shot on Rusty. It's not anywhere near the full kill, though. Only knocks 30 damage off him. I think it was a leg, so.
Still, at this point, if you're Aristocracy, you'll take any damage you can get.
Yeah.
You're not complaining about 30 HP being the difference. That could be an Orc headshot. That could be a grenade that finishes off the job.
Plopsky also taking a little bit of damage from the Molly right there. As Ancient, a little bit timid to go for that T-Con push. They've got players out. They've got a guy in Olaf already. They're ready for the rest of the team to follow it up, but they're looking for that opening kill. I think they were hoping for on Plopsky to get, but even he's scared to make a play right now. He peeks into that side lane too aggressively. He'll peek right into Rallen, who's got an op waiting for him.
Oh, what's this rotate? Aristocracy pulling players back over towards this A site. It's been pretty silent on B. They can afford to do it, but as I say that, they hesitate. They're going to come to regret that, but luckily D has found 3 out of nowhere. Bomb dropped. He's swinging out wide looking for more, but pistol swap won't work out for him. It's the trade for Disco Doppler, and that bomb can still be retrieved, but the players are falling like flies on this T side. Draken alone. He spots a couple of players, but information is not going to be what he needs right now. He needs kills, and not happening. 3 HP. He's dead. Aristocracy, 20 rounds. They'll find the first of their CT side. Now it's got to be 2-0 for either of these teams, a 1-1 split, and we head to a 3rd overtime. Maybe, just maybe.
And keep in mind, guys, these teams are going to have to go right into the finals after this. They'll get a short break, just so we put that out there and notify.
No, instantly. Can't even get up.
We've got the other teams just ready, like right next to the stage. The second this map ends, we're throwing them on the setup, and as soon as they're ready. Yeah, the players will get a bit of a break, but still, it's only like 30 minutes to an hour or something like that. still going to be relatively fresh in their mind after what could potentially be 3 very long maps if Aristocracy is able to pull it back here.
I mean, we kind of had this exact same situation yesterday as well, right? We went to a very long night after an overtime game on Inferno, hit Nuke, also the 3rd map of this series. So it's still on the horizon, but we'll have to see if Aristocracy can take us there.
History's looking to repeat itself. Problem is, Ancient was the team that won the overtime last night. So it's now up to them to do it again and end the series here instead. Got Ancient ready to move out. Smoke's moving in. They're going to leave themselves a pretty decent amount of time to execute on this, but it's also being made very obvious what the play is. Decog gets caught, though. He wasn't expecting the quick cut in. Another pickup from Disco Doppelin. Great flash assist coming in from Freddy in the process, too. Plant should go down immediately. There it is. Mal's, Rowland, and Manise rotating in. Rowland starts it off with an easy one. Freddy spending way too much time peeking on top train there. Molly to hold them back, although it's not going to completely cut the rotate. Rowland can take a few ticks of damage by wrapping around if he wants to, but he's scared to do that. Plopsky has a close hold on bomb train, walks right up. A missed shot from Rowland leads to his death. Now Mal's and Manise, the last 2 alive. A good start for Manise as they wrap onto the train, but they've got to push the back lane, and they just can't do that. Mal's with 1 more pickup. Now a 1v2, but he's very low on time. Has to force the issue. The tap, try and get a few players out into the open. Hasn't really worked.
No.
Take that back, but now he's got to stick it. Jumps right onto it, gets them off. Even if he kills him at this point, it doesn't matter. The round goes to Ancient. They're now 1 away, same as the last overtime from closing out on the series.
You've got to give it to him. He made that one interesting, right? Almost undoable with the time being so low, but he gets both kills almost to defuse. Very, very close, but not quite the round. And now they just need Ancient, 1 single round away from getting us into the grand final, and they're going to throw in a pause as well. Lucky they held on to these because there's no way that Aristocracy have any left. These guys have held them even through double overtime. Not wanting to play a triple, wanting to end it as soon as possible, but sometimes that's not always under your control. Aristocracy have fought tooth and nail, even when it looks like they've been out. Whether that be disadvantageous positions or eco rounds, they've always had some stake in the game. And now they need a round more than ever. Auto sniper, that's how you do it.
It's all going to come to a boil on this round. A huge spree of weapons for Aristocracy, including the auto sniper on Dika. So meaning we'll probably see him play back a little bit more. Freddy, though, forcing the issue against Taz. It does not work. Only knocks out half the HP. That's their big gambit. They relied on Freddy in order to start the round out last. Oh, Dika! Instant! No. Oh my God, what's happening? The trade's going all over the place, but ultimately it's left on to Rusty alone. And Nate gonna knock off 2 more HP, bringing him down to 12. And in a 1v3, this is incredibly unlikely for Rusty. 3rd overtime is looking incredibly likely.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to get this one. 2 in connector as well. Can't expect that. Mal's first fight, and he'll win it. 21-21. Aristocracy not rolling over, not giving up. And they are going to take us the distance and then some. Already 42 rounds deep into this game. And no idea who's even going to win it. That's the best part.
6 more to go. But no indication of who would take this map. They've both played out the exact same way both times right now. Where Ancient takes the lead in the first OT, 2-1. Gets to map point first with 1 round remaining. And Aristocracy tie it back up on the final round. So right now it's making it incredibly hard to predict. But if anyone's had the most chances to shut this down, it's been the folks from Ancient.
Yeah, without a doubt. Auto sniper no longer in play, though, notably enough. Double AWP, that's something we've not seen for a while here for either side, really, past the opening few seconds of a round. Oh, that's a start. Dita picked up in the pop dog. Disco Doppelin just dropping in through. This game has just been a whirlwind of these quick pop drops going in, both teams' favor and against both teams. Finally favoring Ancient in this one.
The problem for Ancient, though, is, okay, they get the quick pop drop, but now how are they going to get 4 players out from it if they want to execute here? 1 minute and 18 seconds. They can easily rotate, but that mod is going to cause them panic. They got to run back up the ladder, give up the control they had pretty quickly. And Taz is going to get aggressive with this. He's going to push back in. The counter molly. Sadly, he's not going to do too much except stopping Taz from following them for a few seconds.
Oh, are they throwing a molly to catch his exit? I think they are. This one's going to land outside of the pop dog, and Taz is going to have to fight to his death.
A smoke as well, I think, going down there a couple seconds ago, and I'm not sure who threw that. There's the flash again. Simply looks away, dodges it actually, and goes 1 for 1.
That flash wasn't even thrown down the pop dog. That was just dropped above the stairs. That just the noise alone of the flash going out made Taz turn away. He didn't need to turn away. He could have committed to the fight, but as a result, he's fallen in the pop dog, and Disco Doplin's found his 3rd kill of the round.
Disco keeping this alive right now for Ancient. Rowland, though, finally catches the end of Disco Doplin as he picks him out from range. The rest of the team's going to make it past and out, though. The 3rd player also working his way in from Ivy. That's going to be Rusty trying to cut off guys like Rowland who are holding the backside right now. He's going to make the call that it's clear. Molly nearly burning out Freddy, by the way, there. But Rusty gets the better of Rowland, completes the flank. It's all on Manise in a close-up play. What are you doing with that?
He's got a nade.
I was about to say,
yeah, you're not kill Freddy.
No, you're not going to right-click that close to yourself.
The ultimate bomb fake, right?
We just throw an HE grenade on myself. Really confuse him.
If you shoot an AWP and then instantly tap that defuse or stick that defuse, there's a world where you're not going to get heard defusing because the sound of the AWP covers it up somewhat. I mean, it's so like dependent on how close they are and where the bomb's planted, etc. But yeah, maybe trying to do something with that. I don't know. A bit optimistic.
The nade noise and whatnot.
Yeah, 22-21 either way. It's Ancient to open up once again in these OTs. But Taz, he's just had enough of this game. He wants to shut them down once again. They're ready for it. Apparently not. Freddy's dead. Trade is there, though, and they found the bomb at least. So that's information, valuable info for Aristocracy. But the bomb being picked up, that can go anywhere now.
Rowland ready to make a more aggressive push towards Ivy here, too. But the smoke's going to fade away in a moment. Rusty sits on the other side of that, so it's going to be a bit dangerous if Ancient decide to continue, or rather if Aristocracy can decide to continue aggressing towards Ivy. Ball's in Ancient's court now. They've got Pop Dog pressure once again, ready to move out onto the A site. If Rusty can work his way in, this is the start of the very same execute we've been seeing a whole lot from these guys. Not a whole lot of interplay coming out from Ancient whatsoever, especially not an OT.
That is surprising as well. It worked out for them very well, at least in the initial T half, but not going back to it. I don't think we've seen a single B round in overtime. It doesn't feel like it.
If they did, it was something really quick that like, we just can't recall. But I think it's always been outside plays from them.
And they've always been quad stacked. This time is...
I think it is finally going to go inner, though.
Oh.
Because Draken just peeked out outer, didn't really see any defensive setup, so I think they're going to go for it. Ooh, even leg Manise, too.
You got pranked. It's a double fake.
I
mean, if the fake is so good it convinces the casters who have X-Ray, then that's when you know a team is playing at top level. But 20 seconds, Ancient need a plant here and now. D is still inside of the site, and they have no idea. 1 kill, almost drops that bomb, but Disco Doplin rounds the back of the Brown train and does trade it back. 3-on-3 here on the retake.
Very awkward, though, because Ancient didn't fully clear this site and faked it instead. Didn't have really the time to knock out the natural defenders from Aristocracy. Plopsky picks up a double. That might be the difference maker here, as it's all down to Rowland. He's going to get caught. Another round for the Swedish roster. Up to 23 now. It's only 25 needed to close the map out. They're 2 for 2 so far on this T side.
We got 5 players on plus 30 kills. This game is the game that keeps on giving. And Plopsky has really turned it up once we hit overtime. Him and Disco Doplin have been really dragging Ancient through. So 2 rounds to 0 here in the 3rd overtime. And Ancient look to try and make it a 3-piece, a trio. Oh, not something we've seen in a while. Quick drop with an AWP. Draken flicks, but not going to be able to connect. And he even gets tagged on the retreat. Manise hitting a shot through the box. Draken still standing tall, still alive, and a second chance at life with this ult.
Both the Oppers steal 50 HP or so from their opponent. It's going to cause a lot more passive play from Ancient, I bet you, if the previous rounds are any indication. They've done a good job of usually getting this opening kill or opening pick. This time they're not going to be able to find it. The boost up for Disco doesn't yield much either. They don't have a player from Aristocracy set up in backside to be punished by that. So it all goes quiet here. They can't even push it to T main anymore, too, because Taz is continuing to be aggressive at every single round. Normally it's been through Pop Dog. This time he's gone for T connector, though.
This double T-side AWP could be a bit of a problem for Ancient. It's going to cripple them a little bit. We're going for these outer executes, but see if it's going to continue to be a problem. We've still got Disco Doppler lurking around B. At any point, that bomb can be picked up and taken back towards his site, which currently possesses 2 CT players. Taz has gone aggressive. He's found a kill inside of main. Rusty just jumping through with no flashbang. And oh dear, Plopsky getting caught inside of the site. Maniz follows up, and this is falling apart for Ancient, as it always has. These 2-to-1 halves in overtime look to continue.
It's only the 3rd round, it seems like, too. Freddy picks up 1 kill, but it's not going to matter much here. Yeah, immediately popped off by Dika. And that is going to be Aristocracy finding their 22nd. Same thing, literally, all 3 overtimes have started with a 2-1 advantage. The folks from Sweden.
2-1, 2-1, both halves, both teams. But who will eventually be the one to crack?
Well, again, it's Ancient that has the luxury of being able to lose at least one of these rounds. They need 2 of them to close out. Only 1 for the tie again. Take us to 24-24 and a 4th overtime on this map alone. No time going to be wasted, guys. We're right into the second half of this 3rd OT.
We've had some long games here in Sweden, but I think this one really takes the biscuit. This one really is going the distance.
I think if we hit quad, I think it will be the longest game.
Yeah.
Because I think we've had 2 triple overtimes so far.
That's crazy.
We had 1 on day 1, and I think your game yesterday went to triple OT.
22-20 or something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
So I'm pretty sure that'll be triple. Or, no, that'd be
that's
double.
Yeah.
Double, yeah.
Close enough. Maths isn't our strong point.
Yeah, I mean, doing math on air is just,
always
never
dangerous.
do. That's like, it doesn't matter what game you go to. It's like a known rule for casting. And we've got Aristocracy pushing into the back halls. See, they've been no strangers to making B plays. Ancient seems scared of it for some unknown reason here, but
they've come this far at least. It's worked out, but the B play, the drop, quickly in they go, and Disco Doppler, he's only going to find 1 with that auto sniper. Quick trade from Mouse, it's doubled up by that man. 3-on-3 here as the bomb goes down. It's a retake scenario for Ancient. That smoke goes very low inside of the ground, underneath the train. So Maniz can still hold off on the connector, and yeah, they're going to have to resmoke it. They use more utility, which could come back to haunt them. Maniz has got a Molotov for that bomb, and they just use their second smoke to get out through connector. This could come back to bite them.
Rusty, though, getting towards upper, finds Mouse. Rowland with a close position. He's got one for free for sure. They had no clue he got this close up. Takes out Plopsky with it. Maniz trying to work his way back in, and he's going to finish it off. Aristocracy pick up the 1st round on T side, and we're tied again. 23-23.
It's happening. Quad OT, it's on the horizon. All they have to do is split rounds here, or one team gets both of them, and then we're done. At least with this map, we could have a whole another one for this series. Nuke is still in the back pocket of Aristocracy. No auto snipers, no double orbs, just keeping things classic here. Quick boost up from Maniz as well, holding towards the A side. Disco Doppler does get himself deep within the sandwich, but he's giving away his position. Almost hits the shot. Maniz not taking down the point man. The guy who's been making it really all happen here in these last few rounds.
Very scared for Ancient there with Maniz making that peek. He didn't seem ready for it. Thankfully, Maniz misses the shot. Keeps all 5 up and running here for Ancient. So they're going to have a heavy stack outside. They've got the right read onto the play, even moving Freddy further back into the B site too. So they seem to have good intel. Suggest this is going to be an A play. They're right to assume that. Plopsky, the lineup from Pop. He's going to unscope a little bit early. The Molly goes down into a bad position too. He's going to try to throw a smoke on top of it quickly. Disco and Draken will strike first, however. Now Plopsky, it's his chance to shine, but no, Disco steals it from him apparently. Draken will take a little bit of Molly damage. Still stays up strong. All 5 from Ancient still alive, despite the nades being thrown in. Rowland finally strikes for Aristocracy, and he gets the second one through the smoke. Plopsky becomes the next victim to Rowland. Now it's a 2v3.
Anyone's game, but the time is going to be a problem. Rusty's already holding down deep, and Maniz is going to walk right into that with the AWP. Just Rowland left. 16 points of health and a 1-on-3 on his A side. He spotted the first. Draken getting tagged down low, but the further he walks back, the more open he's going to be to Ivy. Luckily for his sake, Rusty has wrapped all bomb, but it might not matter because Freddy B's coming with the final kill. 39 on him and 24 on Ancient. They just need one single round. Been unable to close this game out so far every single time they've hit this overtime. Aristocracy have always clawed us back to another one.
They've been in the same exact position on both of the previous overtimes, where they were 1 round away, and Aristocracy was 1 round away from taking us to the next overtime. This is the 3rd chance for Ancient now to close it out. We'll see if that old saying is indeed true. If 3rd time is the charm, let's figure it out now if Ancient can get the closeout. They try to go aggressive in back hauls. Doesn't really pan out too well, but not any damage taken by either side. So despite the wasted utility, not a whole lot is going to be thrown away by Ancient in attempting that. Popsy, some good restraint. Certainly see that player jumping at the top corner, but he's not going to fire until there's a commitment. Nades against him, though. Not moving an inch.
Nerves of steel. And the body of steel as well, to still be alive after that double nade. Don't know how he's standing, but they went a little bit too far. He's going to back off the side of the smoke. Doesn't want to get spammed down. Molotov won't work. He's still got an angle above this. Disco Doblin supporting as well. That's why they've double set up here. And this could be something very valuable in their favor. Aristocracy have loved Pop Dog control on this T side. They both have. So the fact that Ancient got this double setup so successfully, and so much utility's been dedicated, but no value from it. Another nade, just a...
Oh, he's still alive.
How? Just kill him.
You say that.
Yeah.
It's a little easier said than done, it seems. So we've got Aristocracy. There's no time left. They're just going to walk out through Team A. The problem is, though, is that I don't think they had anyone watching it because they were so focused on Pop Dog. So look at all the control Aristocracy have got. Disco is going to have to try and make up for this. He can't do it. So the plan from Ancient is come back to haunt them. Now they've got to try to work from Pop Dog after they've given Aristocracy basically the whole site.
Oh no, this is rough. Miles is even on the angle. He's caught Plopsky moving through. Do they know there's a second man? Yes, they do now. Miles shuts him down through a smoke, and 4 overtimes deep. We may still be going. Freddie B. All that stands between Aristocracy and another overtime. He hits the first shot. Rowland's gone down. He knows there's a man above him as well. Info is there, but are the shots missed? One from the AWP TPCT, but this bomb is so far ticked in Aristocracy. 24 rounds to 24 rounds. They will not give up.
4 overtimes will go into.
Gotta try and be positive.
That's like, yeah, let's keep it going.
Love Counter-Strike. 50 rounds deep almost.
There's still a 3rd map.
Maybe. At this point, very possibly, because Ancient, I mean, they've been given 3 opportunities to close out this map and been unable to do it every single time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Aristocracy to gain 15 first on regulation.
Yeah, it was Aristocracy that got on regulation.
Yeah, and a 2-round comeback of 15-13 for Ancient to pull it back to OT. And since then, they've had control seemingly every single time, but not been able to do the dirty, do the deed. And here we go, OT4.
Yeah, Aristocracy has not had the lead since we started overtime.
Wow.
So this is a huge difference here. If we can see Aristocracy turn it around, if they take the lead, that's already a big difference maker. It is a high likelihood that we're going to be headed to a map 3. But Ancient, so many opportunities to close this out. When are they finally actually going to be able to take one of these? That's the big question. They've always started out with the first win in overtime as well. Once again, it's going to be Aristocracy on the T side, Ancient on the defense. And a slow lead up to the execute seems to be the name of the game once again for Aristocracy.
Yeah, going down Ivy now. Ancient with no one committed to this position, but they're keeping cover of it from the A site. Rusty in on the angle. 50 seconds here as these teams start to move on through, and Mouse is on that Pop Dog flank as well. Keep a note of that. Let's see if he gets control of that later in the round, because Popsky has been such a beast in this position. Mouse is going to have a tough time of getting down into this drop. Popsky almost, oh yeah, not sure about that. Moves in before he pre-aims up, and he's going to pay the price. Just the Doblin defense, 1 on Ivy, but double entry from Aristocracy. They finally opened up. They finally made it look interesting.
They're going to be able to move in, take full control of the site. Freddie B left alone. He gets the damage.
Yeah.
Nearly kills the planter, but not going to happen this time. It is Aristocracy finally winning that opening round, and for the first time since we started OT, having the lead.
Is this where they finally do it? Is this where they finally finish things off? Only time will tell. They've got to get a few more rounds on top of that opener.
3 more to go.
Woo. 3 seems like nothing now.
Yeah.
They played 50 almost. This is round number 50.
This is round 50 right here, yeah.
Wow, milestones being hit. Longest game so far of this tournament. And with many more rounds to be played, Taz is again got out into this Olaf position with no info from Ancient. Ooh, Draken though, shutting down Maniz from the top. That's an opening kill for this CT side. Swedes sitting a man up, but this is where Taz activates, where he sneaks through these smokes and tries to find a gap in the defense.
Taz working his way into the sandwich. The smoke fades away. I think he got spotted there with the op shot coming out against him, but can't get the kill on Plopsky. Draken finds him instead. The IB players also trying to work their way back out, along with the T-Con player that has control of the bomb. That's going to be Malice, who picks up the trade on a Plopsky. Rusty, in the meanwhile, attempts to grab D-Con, but instead the reverse is true. But Draken has already made up for it as he's picked Rowland. Disco Doppelin, meanwhile, nearly burning to the molly, as we've got the last two players holding the tiny lane. He's not going to get pushed. He reads it like a book, though. Bye-bye to Draken, and now we're even into a 2v2.
Yeah, that might have just given an opening window to Aristocracy, but Disco Doppelin shuts it quickly. No more players in this A site. Miles is the only man standing for this T side, and he has wrapped back through green. They're not aware of it, but keeping their eyes on it. Missed shot will give away his position. Disco Doppelin now just needs to stay alive because Freddy B's coming in on the flank, and 25-25. It's equaled up once again, all too familiar territory. Ancient get the second round, though, this time, not the opener. And one more left of this half.
3 more for both teams. Will it again be Ancient that take a 2-1 advantage, or is it finally time for the Polish squad to take the lead at halftime? Something that they've yet to have acquired here in OT. Let's see. Obviously, again, investments are still going to be fully bought out. We are in overtime after all. Aristocracy going for the quick control of back box halls. Ancient has Freddy to watch this, but with the smoke in play, he's not going to get the best amount of visual intel here. Can still try to catch a player, but no, they use it against him, and they're just going to dive right on B. A smart play, as Ancient's been playing 4 heavy in the A site.
I mean, no one's even been playing B, CT, or T side, so I don't blame them. But what is that? Draken runs right through fully blind. Taz able to shut him down as he pushes that smoke. 5 on 3. And I think finally the curse has been lifted. Finally, Aristocracy might head into a second half of overtime with the advantage. Could this be the turnaround, the change that actually turns out this map with a winning team? Finally, maybe. That sentence was a mess, and this game is too, but 5 on 3 as a retake comes through.
Yet to see that, of course, as this one is going to be probably the cleanest OT round we've had yet. Aristocracy take it with all 5 players still alive. That's a good sign for them, and a bad sign for Ancient. Maybe signs again that this match is getting too long for them, wearing out everything that they've had to bring to the table. As Aristocracy now just sits 2 more rounds away from closing out and sending us to a 3rd and final map on Nuke.
It's all up in the air at this point. And Aristocracy, I mean, as said, they ran out of pauses a long time ago. So this is, yeah, no more input from the coach. It's just coming down to the 5 in the server. But Taz, what a man he's been. Not only just these opening kills, but also just leading this team through thick and thin, through good and bad, up and down. And here we go. Final few rounds potentially, or the start of many more if history repeats itself. Quick drop, not going to work out. Miles is there once again. No consistency in this pop dog position. But that just makes it all the more exciting.
Ancient in the meantime here. We're going to see their players still try to take this incredibly slowly after the loss of Disco Doppelin from a few seconds ago. Pop dog play too, going out against Mal's. Good nade position. It's about half of the max damage it could have done. The double drop against him, still trades it 1 for 1.
Yeah, with the advantage, that's perfectly fine for Aristocracy. They'll take a 4 on 3 every day of the week. Means it can split 2 per site in Ancient. They're going to walk into a 3 on 2 on B here, assuming the setup stays the same. Taz can't afford to rotate, but he will sit back towards the connector, at least giving him a path between the 2 bomb sites. Now the smoke's starting to come through, and the T's are flooding. Maniz does hit a shot with the AWP, but these T's are already pushed up. Plopsky getting 1. Surely this is where his road ends, though. That bomb's been dropped in the open, and Freddy B's going to have to do it alone. 1 on 2, 5 HP, and he's not up for the task. 27 rounds to Aristocracy. They hold the lead by 2, finally.
Ancient fallen off, now need the next 2 consecutively, something that I'm not actually sure they've been able to accomplish yet in OT. Certainly have pushed ahead with the 2-1 advantage from a halftime, but this might be asking a bit too much. We've got the crowd, of course, still with us here, wanting to see Ancient make their way through into the final. Of course, I assume we got a few Aristocracy fans out there as well. This one starting to lean more and more towards the Polish side. Draken Tries to take that early pick against the B player. Nearly gets Mouse too, but he does survive it. Backs up.
A little bit of a gap in that smoke. DreamHack might look to exploit it. Won't really find much from it though. Ancient aren't hanging around long in the T-spawn, just setting up utility from safe cover. 2 in a row needed. This time Popdog will be given over to them. Aristocracy don't want to fight it, but they will fight the yard. Rallen gonna have to fall back, and here comes the push. Almost a lineup. He hits the first shot. This is only one of the 2 AWPs in play as well. Ancient needs to get rid of it, and Rusty will start off by removing DreamHack from the equation. Taz trading 1 for 1. Draken's opened up again. That bomb still in the open, but all the time in the world for Ancient to pick it back up.
Manise, though, has this very good angle to stop Ancient from pushing him. They don't necessarily have the utility to deal with him if they know he's here either. So yeah, they try to fake him out and the plan works. Disco also catches the rotate from Mouse. All on Manise. He misses another shot. That may be the end of him here in the clutch. We'll see. Not counting him out just yet. He's going to try to work with the 5-7. Makes his way all the way up to the smoke, all the way past E-Box, but that's just going to give him away to Draken. Ancient are not done fighting just yet. One more, and they take us to a quintuple overtime.
Unbelievable scenes right now.
I'm gonna have to start looking up the word version of the further overtimes. I can go up to 6. Actually, no. I think I can go all the way to 10. We're good.
What's 8?
Octuple, I think.
There we go. Working well.
I don't know what 9 is, though. I have to look that one up.
I hope we don't get that far. I'm not going to lie.
That far.
I'm loving this game, but I don't want 9 overtimes. That's excessive, and we might still have more to come because Draken's opened up once again. Draken, alive and kicking. These CTs aren't. 2 of them dead down Ivy, and Ancient with a 5-on-3 in a round that would send us to a 5th overtime.
Manise is going to try to get aggressive. Look for the trade on Draken. He might get it too. No! Draken's been waiting there forever for that. And that's another one for Ancient, a 5v2. Surely this is an easy closeout, but they still can't be too careful.
Just trade me, guys. Keep peeking. We'll get him eventually. One of us will kill him, surely, right? That's how it works. No. And I mean, this is going to require more than heroics. I'm surprised Aristocracy even split 1 per site at this point. They're going to need help over on A. Taz needs anything, but he's blind and dropped from the heavens. Mal's in a 1-on-5 to keep this game going, to send us to nuke, but it is not looking good.
Mal's alone here, smoked off as well behind Ticket. He's going to try his best to get to the open. Molly's going to force him further into the smoke. Found out by Plopsky, and we are not done yet. 5 overtimes in a row. We keep the train rolling.
What's the LAN record? Someone tweet me that right now, because I'd love to
It's
know
much
how
further
close
than
we
this.
Well, actually, funnily enough, I'm thinking of LAN games that have gone the distance. I think these Swedes have been a part of one of the longest LAN games under Cringe Gods at the PGL Minor.
Yeah, the EU Minor, right?
Yes. They managed to take a game on Mirage to something stupid like 40-something, 40-40.
I think that
And
game
it was
still
with
holds the
Barbar
record.
playing. It was with Barbar playing.
I do remember
That's
this.
the funny part. And now he's coaching. So these guys, they've been around the overtimes before. I'd love someone to confirm this for me. But
that one I think still holds the pro record.
Yeah.
There might be like a really obscure like
There's a-
ESCA match or something like that went even further.
That's
from
why
like
I said LAN.
2015. Yeah.
There's like a UK event that went 50-50, but I mean, not LAN, so... Let's see. Crowds behind Ancient, and they're going to need them more than ever. This game is not ending anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Also had that crazy Cloud9 Navi game from Cologne 2 years ago that I think went to like 5 or 6 overtimes as well. So we're definitely pushing the record on that one, but either way, Disco, careful there. Getting a little snappy with some of his teammates. But to start this off, we've got Ancient playing it nice and slow on the T side with reason too. They've tried everything. They know Aristocracy's got their number red. On the initial contact though, Freddy B takes down Dika. Problem is Taz still has position inside of Popdog, and he's going to be there to immediately trade it, bring it into a 4v4.
Yeah, now Ancient slow things right down. They've lost their opener off on A. They realize they don't have as much control as they would have hoped. And they'll go back towards Ivy. Good choice. Look at this setup. No one's watching it. No one's even got their eye on it. Rallen, you could say he's on double duty, but he's hardly dedicated to Ivy. Playing from the bomb train, they can get out and go towards CT, and you can see he's checking old bomb, aware of that possibility, but this is just timing. You're playing it, you know, with luck at this point. But that's what you got to do when you're 50+ rounds deep. Got to have some holes in the armor, and Ancient exploiting them. They will be able to get into the A site. Rallen's allowing them to do so, waiting for them to get a little bit closer. One has passed, and Rallen misses a shot. That's a big kill that could have gone his way, but instead he's going to fall to Disco Doppler. Trade there for Maniz, but they know Taz is in Pop Dog, and they'll deal with him appropriately. 3 on 2. Maniz is going to take matters into his own hands, and he might be able to just do it alone. 1 kill to Rusty. 9 seconds left for that bomb to go down, and Disco Doppler, he needs the kill, or the plant, probably the kill. No way he can get that bomb. Closing the distance, 2 seconds. Surely not, and Miles has done it. 28 rounds. Aristocracy holds strong.
Down to the literal wire right there. As we saw the folks from Ancient, they had control of the site, they had a grasp on it, but the wild bust out from Maniz reopened the possibility of a win from Aristocracy there. Got them onto the site and rekindled that round.
What a play to drop the bomb with 15 seconds left. The balls on that man, and he stays alive while doing it as well. Doesn't even get immediately traded. That's going to be playing in the nightmares of Ancient. That and 28 other rounds.
Ancient now must look for the response. They've always kept it relatively close.
Ooh.
However, Pop Dog control, it's not the way they want to start this decut with an easy double. Freddy and Disco not posing much of a threat to him. Mouse is going to have pressure against him, but he too striving under that pressure, except for mauling himself. That part's not too great. Plopsky trades it back out. The damage has still been done ultimately, of course, with Draken now going down. Plopsky will be left alone. Artillery strikes coming out against him too. Brought down to 63 HP, just no positioning to play off of. He's got the smoke behind him, and that's really the only saving grace in terms of map control that he has. But there you go. Eventually they were going to find him. And they get it. Deca picks up a 3rd frag on the round, and Aristocracy go up to 29. 31 is the winning point.
Surely this is where they can do it, right? This is the first time in OT they've taken a 2-0 lead. You know, last OT they broke the milestone of actually opening up and having the 2-1 advantage. Well, now they definitely got the advantage, but not only that, they got the momentum to get a 3rd as well. If they do so, I would struggle to believe this game will continue, but judging by how these last 60 rounds have gone, I don't really know what to expect. Orbs back out, double AWP here on the CT side. Rallen continuing to rock his alongside Maniz. We've got players reaching 50 kills here. 45 on Freddy B, 47 on Mouse. Not far off indeed, still attainable yet. Taz is going to get aggressive in T-Con. No flash through, just crawling, creeping, and sliding into position. Very, very important now. This can allow for a rotate down towards B. A player like Maniz could easily go round through CT, and yes, he will. It's not going to be the right call for now, because Ancient is still pressuring up on A, but this could change in an instant.
No one going down just yet. A minute remaining in the round here. Ancient still trying to vie for Pop Dog control. There's no resistance on it. They'll be able to take it easily. Taz, though, we've seen him in past overtime rounds cause some serious issues by pushing into T-Con, but it looks like Ancient are going to dodge that. They've moved over into the back white holes and are quickly transitioning into box to try and go for a B play.
Double B setup looking better by the second, but that pick on the A side, that's going to force Maniz round towards A. Perfect timing for Ancient, perfect time for the execute. Will they go now, or will they wait too long? Because with every second that goes on, Maniz might be able to rotate back down through the connector. Ancient waiting for this smoke to fade on the ramp. 30 seconds. Mal's playing close, committed, fighting to his last breath. Maniz has got the rotate in, but is there time? Mal's already hiding. Rusty's found another opening kill on A. He's keeping these players on the wrong side of the map. Maniz will hit a shot, but these T's are already inside of the bomb site. The player on coils picked up immediately, but Maniz will not give up. 2 kills with this orb. He spots the 3rd, and it's dropped as well. Bomb has to be picked up. Disco Doppler does find it, but he'll get no further. But at least this rotate saves the day, and 4 kills on that orb will find 30 rounds for Aristocracy.
A 3-0 streak. We haven't seen that yet throughout the course of these overtimes, and that is bad news for Ancient. Great news for Aristocracy, though. They only need 1 out of the next 3, and they will close out this map, taking us to Nuke to decide the series. It's definitely seeming like Ancient as well, getting a little bit sloppy. The comms, just that right there. You can tell it's not as strong as it's been in the past. There's things that are going uncommunicated, and that's causing major issues. They need to prep themselves up very quickly for jumping back onto the CT side, as otherwise this is going to be a quick one, and we'll see that 3rd map coming up right after this.
No brakes on this train. Let's see what they got. 3 CT rounds needed, or bust, or nuke, or a 3rd map, and then a grand final after that for the winning team. Could have been Ancient so long ago, but Now it's still under question. 4 players up on A right now for this CT side. Aristocracy, nice and slow T default to begin. Taking their time with Pop Dog, and that's what I like to see, considering how much that is a bit of focal point of this map.
3 separate opportunities for Ancient to close out on this overtime. Aristocracy's had 2, both in the last overtime due to the 2-0 lead they got over Ancient. Now they've got 3 more chances to close it down. Ancient have to win every single one of these rounds, and all that does is take us to sextuple overtime.
What's 7?
Septuple,
Ooh.
I think.
Well, we might not need it. Only 1 T-side round required. Have Aristocracy got it in them? Fast B play. Molotov forces Freddy back, and the flashbangs do even better. He's so blind. He sits in the molly. Pop flash himself to get aggressive, but they're already ready for it. And these T's are running over the round. It's looking done as anything. Disco Doppler, last man standing, 1 on 5, and he's too far away.
Disco, this would be a miracle if he could pull it off, but I think we've reached the end of the road. He goes down, and it's Aristocracy.